They win it 9-6.
Well, it's a Joe show. We've seen it. Nobody wants to be there. It's a big bad show tonight. Just can't take this damn parade. Who cares? Joe show. There's a 2-mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Anyone who gets scared by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was at a Hooters.
I like that.
Vomit.
Whoa.
Guys, you know who Old Hoss Radbourne is? Are you familiar with him? If you're not,
I've heard the name.
He tossed 678 and 2/3 innings for the Providence Grays in 1884. 75 games, 73 starts. 441 strikeouts to lead the league that year, might I add. I'm not so much focused on the strikeout total. I'm focused on the 678 and 2/3 innings. You wonder, where did they pull the guy that he had 2/3 innings? That's what I want to know. At what point did they say, no, this guy can't finish this inning. He's at 678. We got to pull him. That's how I feel tonight. It's Matt McCarthy. Again, how you doing? I was at Foo Fighters last night. People were like, God, boy, damn, McCarthy, I heard a lot of you this past week. Yep, I'm here. It's my season. This is my time to shine. You need some innings eaten? I'll eat them for you. Night 8 out of 8. They haven't called me yet in for tomorrow. Actually, they did. I couldn't do it. Not because I don't want to. I would show up again tomorrow. The Old Hoss Radbourne of 98.5 The Sports Hub. Other things to do, you know? Give me the ball, Skip. I'll handle it. Red Sox need a pitcher, don't they? They don't want me. Just because I can eat the inning does not mean it's going to be a good one. No guarantee in that. You need some guy to go out there and eat some innings, log some starts for you? That's me. You want it to be good? Call somebody else. But you can call me tonight at 617-779-0985. McCarthy in for Joe Murray. Start with the Red Sox. We'll get to the latest on Brandon Ayuk. Get to the Sam Hauser contract, which I didn't really get to yesterday. 2 full hours of ice cream talk yesterday, Skaz. It's National Ice Cream Day. Day 7 out of 8. That was a kick back and put your feet up kind of day. You want to talk about a Joe Murray special. Whole bunch of people calling in, saying their favorite ice cream spot for 2 hours. That. You want to talk about doing a Joe show on a Sunday? That was a Joe show. We'll do some more sports tonight. We'll see. We'll see where the night leads us at 617-779-0985. But I do want to start with the Red Sox before we get into Ayuk, before we get into Sam Hauser, before we get into everything else going on at this point, and anything you want at 617-779-0985. It was a bad weekend. Talk about needing some guys to eat some innings for you. Bad weekend for the Red Sox. Bad. And it shouldn't matter. At least I sure hope it doesn't matter. Dare I say it would be reckless if it mattered. If one bad weekend in 2 months changed the minds of Red Sox ownership and the Red Sox front office in regards to improving this team at this deadline. Be a bad way to go about it. Wouldn't be good. Dangerous. Dare I say dangerous. That is a dangerous way to live right there. Thankfully, based on last night's comments before the game on Sunday Night Baseball, I don't think a bad weekend is going to change their minds. Call me crazy. I do think the Red Sox are going to do something. I don't know how significant it will be, but I do believe the Red Sox. I take the Red Sox at face value, which I cannot believe I just said, that I take the Red Sox at face value when they say they are going to add Buster Olney and Karl Ravech, adding more on that last night before the game.
We're 9 days until the trade deadline. A lot of teams are asking themselves, are we going to be buyers? Are we going to be sellers? Well, in this case, the Dodgers and the Red Sox appear as if they're going to be big buyers. The Dodgers, of course, looking for starting pitching. Garrett Crochet has been talked a lot about in the Dodgers organization. And on the Red Sox side, they also are in the market for starting pitching. No waffling this year compared to the last 2 seasons. We'll be talking a lot about this during the course of tonight's game, Carl.
Yeah, very encouraging conversation we had with that guy right there, Alex Cora, who certainly made it sound like, maybe unlike Craig Breslow did when I spoke to him a few weeks ago, where we're kind of trying to do and find things that would work. He made it sound like we are really invested.
So here's the question. Do you believe them? Those are strong statements right there. Buster Olney not only says the Red Sox are going to be buyers, they're going to be big buyers. Lump them in with the Dodgers on that. Karl Ravech then follows it up and says, hey, I spoke to Alex Cora. Yeah, they're not going to be waffling here. They're going all in. It's a little different than when we talked a few weeks ago and when I talked to Craig Breslow a few weeks ago, who at that point was still wishy-washy. Do you believe them? That's the question tonight, 617-779-0985. I think that is the most significant piece of reporting yet we have gotten on the Red Sox and their intentions at this deadline. Because for the most part, the reporting hasn't had a lot of teeth to it. It's been pretty consistent with, they might buy, they're kind of, no. That one was different last night. Not to mention the shots at Chaim Bloom. The Red Sox were waffling last year. They're not going to be buyers. They're going to be big buyers. Do you believe them? I do. And you can say I'm an idiot, I'm a fool. How could you believe the Red Sox? This is the same team that 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever it was, gave you full throttle. Same group. How could you believe them, McCarthy? You idiot. I get it. I do. But to me, people keep acting like the Red Sox are wishy-washy because it took Breslow a number of weeks to commit to the idea of adding. Because it took him too long. And yes, it did take Craig Breslow too long, in my opinion. For my liking, it took him too long. Last weekend was the first time he came out and said, we are adding to this team. Or strongly implied that. He didn't say that verbatim, but he implied it. We have to take them seriously. And he said similar things on the 310 to Left podcast with Tom Caron and Alex Spear last weekend. The Red Sox came out last weekend and told you they want to add. Last night, the Sunday Night Baseball crew doubled down on it, said they want to add big buyers, the term Buster Olney used there. The tone of their voice has changed. The tone of the Red Sox voice has changed on this, and to me, that's significant. Again, you can call me an idiot for believing in them, but I have sensed a change in the way they've talked about this team. I played this a little bit last week because it was so stunning to me. And I keep going back to it. And I think now is a good time to go back to it again after what you heard from Buster Olney and Karl Ravech last night about the Red Sox wanting to be big buyers. And I think people just want to dismiss that and poo-poo that and say, come on, it's the Red Sox. Why would you believe them? Get a load of this, if you could. Skaz, this is Breslow too. Craig Breslow on the 310 to Left podcast with TC and Alex Spear. The same weekend that he announced they were going to be buyers on Nesson, he sat down with TC and Spear and said this. Does this sound like a guy who's waffling? Does this sound like a guy who wants to kick the can down the road? Or does this sound like a general manager who's ready to be decisive and act?
It's a good reminder not to get so overly caught up in playoff probabilities day to day, because with every game that you play or every game that someone that you might be chasing or who's chasing you is, plays, those fluctuate. And I think, you have to zoom out a bit and kind of try to see the big picture. And, when your team goes on a run and wins 8 games in a row, that has to matter. That has to be meaningful. Again, we're here to try to win as many big league games as we possibly can. Building out a robust, healthy farm system is one path toward sustainability, and we have to be mindful of that. But at the end of the day, we're not here to win farm system rankings. We're here to win big league games.
Does that sound like a guy who wants to hoard every single one of his prospects at a deadline and not improve a big league team? Doesn't sound that way to me. Now, you can speculate that somebody got to Breslow on that and said, well, we need to be careful about, our, PR game here and, give the fans hope and say these nice little things with these buzzwords that fans will eat up. Some clown like McCarthy on the radio will believe you when he says it. So maybe that's that. They're either lying to my face or this is for real. The comments last night. Buster Olney saying there are going to be big buyers. I'm inclined to believe it's kind of real. Now, we'll see if they ultimately pull the trigger on a big deal, but they're going to add at this deadline. I'm pretty convinced of that. Because Craig Breslow, again, I can only take him at face value. And a lot of people think that Breslow doesn't want to add because he's analytically driven and he comes from a more cautious environment. Dare I say, the nerds don't like adding. I don't know, man. Craig Breslow said for weeks, that he was going to pick a lane, which we can poke fun at and say, can you talk like a human being? No, just say you're going to buy or sell. Say you're going to add to this team. Say you want to win big league games. Like, say that. But he kept saying, I will pick a lane. You can't do both. Last weekend, he came out and said, we have to take this team seriously. Last weekend, he came out and said, we just played for you on the 310 to Left podcast, where he says, screw your playoff probabilities, and it's not about winning the farm system rankings. And now Buster Olney comes out and says they're going to be big buyers. Is that just because Alex Cora told Buster and Ravitch that they're going to be big buyers at the deadline? Or do you think Buster Olney, who's a good reporter, is hearing things around baseball too that would support those comments? Where there's smoke, there's fire. I believe the Red Sox are going to do something. What do you make of it? 617-779-0985. I do think, though, it is noteworthy where last night's comments came from, which I will get to. And I see on the phone lines, we'll take care of you. It's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray. We're off and running. What is it, Monday? I don't know. It's day 8. It's another day. It's another day where I'm at the microphone. So we continue. It's McCarthy in for Joe.
More Joe Murray coming up.
for Shohei Otani, the Dodgers' 5th home run of the night.
That was a shot.
He almost hit it out of here.
I think that's the furthest ball I've seen hit in this stadium. I've seen Giancarlo Stanton go over everything in left field. But Shohei Otani, and you see the distance on the top left. Ridiculous.
Did that go over the roof?
Wow.
Yeah, that may have cleared the roof, Coney. The reaction of those folks there indicated it cleared it.
Oh my sweet merciful Jesus. Have you ever seen a baseball hit that hard? Crushed like that? I mean, that I swear to God, is one of the longest baseballs I have ever seen hit. Manny Ramirez, when he hit it onto the pike at Fenway, might be the longest baseball I've ever seen hit on television. That Shohei Otani shot last night, oh my Lord. There's no way it only went 473 feet, by the way. No way. Somebody, get out a new tape measure. They have chips in the ball now that track how far these things go. The chip was defective because it was demolished by Shohei Otani. Can you give me the sound of that off the bat again last night, Skaz? Oh, my God. That is... And the crowd noise in the background muffles it. That is as squared up gets.
Otani! Right field!
Oh, my. Wow. Like, that's the type of... If you throw that type of pitch, that should do psychological damage to you. Like, if you're Cutter Crawford, how do you ever throw a cut fastball ever again? How do you ever do that? It's a cutter, right? I was watching on a small screen. Foo Fighters last night. Carabas turns around and he's like, dude, you got to check out this Otani home run. Watch there on the small screen on the phone. I'm like, oh, my Jesus. That was a bomb. Thing still hasn't landed. That is a danger to satellites. You know, planetary defense. We all should be concerned about planetary defense. Don't we have an asteroid that's coming near us soon? Just get Shohei Otani on top of that thing. Just put Crawford on the mound and let Otani defend our planet. Jesus. Wow, that was a bomb. That was good stuff right there. Not for the Red Sox. Bad weekend for them. It shouldn't scare them off. It should not scare them off. In fact, I'd even make the argument that the weekend is more proof that they should add. They should have won 2 of those games. They were in them all. They had a bad game yesterday. Gave up 6 home runs. It happens over the course of 162. I'm more focused on the way you lost Friday night and the way you lost Saturday night. Because you would have won those games if you had a healthy bullpen, I think. Slayton's healthy, Martin's healthy, you win those games. Now, Jansen lets you down because he gives up a home run to bum-ass Kike Hernandez, who hasn't had a hit in 3 years. That guy. How do you get that guy beat you not once but twice? That's what I want to know. But you win both of those games. If you don't have Greg Weissert trying to close it out in the 10th, and that's Chris Martin or Justin Slayton, you probably win that game. Same thing with Friday night. 8th inning instead of Zach Kelly. If you've got Chris Martin out there, you probably win that game. More proof that you should add. Talk about, sustainability and whether the Red Sox can maintain this. Of course they're overachieving. We all understand that. They can't sustain it if they don't add. They can't sustain it if they don't get this group help. In some ways, it's really not about getting better at the deadline. It's about ensuring that you have enough horses to maintain this thing. Crawford might not be the same pitcher after the All-Star break. Houck might not be the same pitcher after the All-Star break. What if you go out and add Nate Eovaldi? Does that take some pressure away from those guys? Of course it does. So maybe Tanner Houck doesn't pitch like an All-Star in the second half. But if you add Nate Eovaldi, that makes up for it. You don't get better because you regress to the mean, as the nerds would say. But you can maintain where you are. It's not really about getting better. It's about maintaining this for the Red Sox. And they proved to you this weekend that they will not be able to maintain it without help. And the good news is I think the Red Sox actually understand that. At least they're talking like they understand that. Buster Olney last night says the Red Sox are going to be big buyers. Not just buyers, big buyers. Mentioned the Dodgers and the Red Sox in the same breath. I don't know. When Buster Olney says stuff like that, I take note. And your reaction might be, I don't believe them. They're the Red Sox. This is full throttle all over again. I get it. I understand why you wouldn't. But we haven't seen Craig Breslow at a deadline before. He can improve this team, by the way, without taking on any salary. We don't know if John Henry and Sam Kennedy are going to let Craig Breslow take on salary. You can still make this team better even if you don't. Garrett Crochet costs you $400,000. Trust me, they can find a way to take on that salary. It's going to cost you a good prospect, going to cost you one of your top 3, but you can do that if you so choose. And Buster Olney says they're going to be big buyers. I pay attention to that. I buy it. Call me crazy, but I buy it. 617-779-0985. John is in Hampton. You're up first tonight. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray. Hey, John.
Hey, McCarthy. How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Good. Buster Olney, please. But the one I want to talk about is you. So you and I are thinking similar things as like the best things for the Red Sox right now, right? So so before the All-Star break, they were 11 games above 500. Now they're 8, and they had 3 really good games against the Dodgers. Let's face it, they could have won maybe 1 or 2 or 2 of them. And of course, last night with the Otani home run was fantastic, and the pitcher, so 5 home runs. Crawford, I think. So anyway, what I'm saying is so that's what I got about baseball. So what's up with the Foo Fighters? Did you see the Foo Fighters last night?
They were awesome. They were great.
You saw the Foo Fighters last night?
I did, yes.
McCarthy, you are now, how were they? How was the concert?
Electric, man. They were so good. I'd never seen them before. Just that is rock and roll right there, John.
Yeah, I've never seen them, and I'm older than you, probably a lot older, but I've always wanted to see the Foo Fighters, and of course, and then so that is really cool.
It was a good time. I'll give you that. That was a rock show. Where were you last night, Skaz? Why didn't you show up to Foo Fighters?
Was sitting on the couch watching some Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon, I should say.
Are you serious? You watched
Sunday night? You expect me to go to a concert?
Yes, I do.
I'm old.
It's the Foo Fighters. I'm old too. Trust me, I feel like death right now. 8 days in a row, I'm out doing a concert. I'm at Blink 182 tomorrow night. I'm not going to survive.
Look at you, Blink 182 tomorrow night.
It's going to be a good time.
I'd like to see McCarthy on Wednesday morning.
It's not going to be good, man. It's not going to be good. It's going to be rough. I'm feeling it tonight. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling it. But I will take the ball.
Is this a double Fenway? Is this back-to-back Fenway shows?
Back-to-back Fenway.
Oh, you're doing it big.
Not a great concert venue. The sound did not suck where we were last night, but it's notoriously bad. Notoriously bad. Not a good concert venue. But for Foo Fighters, had to do it. I hadn't seen him before. Dave Grohl, I would argue, Dave Grohl is the last great rock star. Who's up and coming? At this point, like rock stars. Pop stars, you got a million of them. I mean, Taylor Swift is bigger than the Beatles, basically. I'm not talking about pop. I'm talking about rock. Who is the last great rock star, and who's the next one? Dave Grohl, last great rock star. Like, after him, that's it. I mean, you got Billy Joe Armstrong, right? Like, I'm thinking same era.
Do the Gallaghers count?
Oasis?
Yeah, I don't. Do they count as like they're good?
Is that a rock show?
Yeah, I don't think so. I would vote no, probably.
No. I mean, like the Foo Fighters, that's a rock show. Like, and they come out. Yeah, I mean, listen, they do some harder stuff, but I mean, that was like a musical history lesson last night. They'll be playing something a little heavier, and then during the bridge or whatever, Dave Grohl will like break it down. And he'll start playing Blackbird. And Carabas turned to me. He's like, "Is this the Beatles?" I'm like, "You damn right, it's the Beatles." Do everything from the Beatles. They played some AC/DC last night. What else did they kind of riff on? Whole bunch of stuff. Van Halen. It was a good show. Good show. There's a question for you. Is Dave Grohl the last great rock star? And who's next? We don't have that guy. Isn't that sad? Who's the next guy? Einbein checking in on YouTube. I agree, Matt. Foo Fighters, the last real rock band. Billy Joel. Put some respect on my name. Yeah, no, Billy Joel's great, right? I'm talking about, but Billy Joel's 25 years older than Dave Grohl. That's like me being like, well, Springsteen's the last great rock star. Yeah, no, Springsteen's been at it for 50 years. Dave Grohl's been at it for 30 years. Billy Joel's been at it for 50 years. Who's the next? Who's the rock star who's been around for 20?
Might catch some heat for this, but Billy Joel, I mean, he's a pianist. He's not a rock star.
Oh, I mean, there's some rock and roll in there.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, I like Billy Joel, but I don't think I'd consider him like a rock and roll guy.
I mean, they play him on the classic rock stations. You'll always get Piano Man, right?
Yeah, but yeah, Piano Man, that's not. Come on.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
It's
like,
pop.
Like, who's like? All right, let's just deal with contemporaries here. Who's a bigger rock star? Springsteen or Billy Joel?
It's got to. I mean,
it's Springsteen.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Like, all right, Bono. Who's a bigger rock star? Like Bono or Billy Joel? What you're saying is U2's more rock.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But who's that next guy? We don't have him. It doesn't exist. That kind of sucks.
Is Felger getting pissed that we haven't mentioned Eddie Vedder yet?
But contemporary, right?
Yeah, he's not bigger than Dave Grohl.
No, Dave Grohl is bigger than Eddie Vedder. I mean, no disrespect to Eddie Vedder. But you're right. Eddie Vedder is one of the last great rock stars. I would put him right up there. Billy Joe Armstrong, one of the last great rock stars. Guys from Blink-182, Tom, he's not busy chasing aliens. Rock star.
Hey,
right?
he found him. He found him.
No, they're out there. They proved it. Talk about being Tom DeLonge ahead of his time. Chasing aliens. They're definitely out there. Maybe I'll write him in this November. Tom DeLonge. I had it figured out. Christina says, what about Creed? Out. Scott Stapp. Out. Come back with some Creed, if you don't mind, Skaz. Just for the people. Continue. It's McCarthy on the Sports Hub in for Joe.
Sports Hub headlines.
time. Are you familiar with that, Skaz?
I think maybe a summer night last summer, I think me and you may have dove into the Scott Stapp Marlin song. It was a first for me, but one I will never forget.
How could you forget it?
Yes.
If you could dial that up at some point, we will need the Scott Stapp Marlin song, which is basically the exact same thing as any other Scott Stapp and Creed thing. It's just, let's play ball, it's game day. I mean, it's the same thing. Anybody can do it. Musical genius. Really. Richie in Duxbury. Hi, Richie.
McCarthy, you are the MVP of the sports sub. You're getting all the Tommy points, the 6-player award. Unbelievable. You need to go in for a raise, brother.
Heroic. I agree. I'm a hero. Yeah.
I mean, you are epic, legendary.
It's true. Yes, I agree.
Especially in your own mind. But listen, let's get down to it.
Just like Tristan Casas, Richie. I'm a
right.
hero in my own mind.
But you show up more than Casas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, where is he? I'm here. Where's that guy?
I think he's working through the next Yankee series in his mind.
What do we got?
We're not going to see. I don't think we're going to see him back this year. He could be a perpetual IL guy, I think.
I'm with you on that. What do you got on music?
You know what I mean?
What do you got?
Hey, so listen, the only guy who's got a chance of being the next rock superstar is Wolfgang Van Halen.
Eddie's
who, by the way, put on a hell of a show. Nothing like Dave Grohl, who I've seen about a half dozen times, but Wolfgang really is good.
I got to check him out. So, I mean, what's he doing right now? What do I need to know?
He's doing his own stuff. He does, a combination of his old man stuff, as he should, but he does a lot of his old stuff. But Dave Grohl, I mean, to have tragedies that he's had with two of the most unbelievable bands of all time is pretty legendary. And he's just, I've never heard anybody say a bad word about the guy,
Oh, I mean, everybody says he's the gem of a human being. What a great front man. Presence. Springsteen-esque presence. I will give him that. First time seeing Foo Fighters last night. Dave Grohl, one of the best frontmen I've seen. That guy's a rock star. A true rock star. I'm familiar with some of Wolfgang's stuff. I will check it out. I mean, obviously nobody's Eddie, but man. Zoe and Beetle did a whole thing, like kids who are better than their parents, musicians. It's a relatively short list, but there are a few noteworthy ones. One of the best ones they said was Miley, which is no doubt, yes, way better than Billy Ray. Not even close. But most kids of musicians, not as good as the parents. It's the way it is. Most kids of athletes, not as good as the parents. But you get the occasional one. Ken Griffey Jr., better than Ken Griffey, in the words of Tim McCone Jr. Sr. Definitely Ken Griffey on that. Skaz, did we find the Scott Stapp Marlin song? The people need to hear it. We do sports, we do music. Isn't it great when sports and music intersect? This is exactly what I thought when I first heard the Scott Stapp Marlin song from, it has to be close to 20 years ago now at this point. We got those chingy guitars. Oh, yeah.
Let's play ball, it's game day.
Stop. That is Shohei Otani taking Cutter Crawford deep last night. You hear the crack of that bat?
Let's play ball, it's game day. We want strikeouts, base hits, double plays.
You squared it up.
Take the field, hear the roar of the crowd. Come on, Marlins, make us proud. Come on, Marlins, make us proud. Keep hoping and dreaming and you will soar.
Skaz, can you stop him, please? Who in the Marlins had this idea? That's what I want to know. Give that man a raise, whoever it is. Guys, I've got it. All right, you gave me $300,000 in a marketing budget this year. I just hired Scott Stapp. He's going to do a song, and it's going to rock. And it's going to sound exactly like whatever Creed has done for years. And I got this guy, and he's got a microphone, and we're just going to go out. We're going to record the sound of a baseball hitting a bat. Better yet, no. We're just going to go onto YouTube, and we're going to YouTube bat crack sound. I mean, that is squaring it up right there, man. Give it to me again. Here's this crack of the bat.
Let's play ball, it's game day.
No! Smooth. Right on the button. Right on the Louisville and the Slugger right there.
I'm shocked that's not more famous than it is.
It should be. Doesn't he get to a point where he basically just starts doing baseball, like just... I think the second verse is just... You could tell he quit. He really... I mean, because he was trying hard for the first verse. This is where it gets good.
One strike swing away. A diving pitch, a stolen base. A perfect game, a triple play. Another playoff race. Yes, World Series champs will be.
Enough. And then you get the crack of the bat there at the end. Can't do it. Can't do any more after that. I mean, you want to talk about poetry.
He just went to the Wikipedia for baseball and started naming things that were in there.
A stolen base, a triple play. World Series champs will be here. Crack of the bat. Stapp got together with Dylan. Reincarnated Lennon. Springsteen. Every great lyricist you've ever thought of. Give me a good lyricist. Modern day lyricist. A poet.
Bob Dylan.
Dylan, first one that comes to mind, right? Yep, they all got together and they wrote that one. What you don't know about that is Dylan was the ghostwriter of that. 617-779-0985. Folks checking in on YouTube. McCarthy, what is this horrible S? No, it's not horrible. That's Creed. That's Scott Stapp doing the Marlin song. That's sports. When sports and music intersect, what more could you want? We have NBA news. NBA news that directly ties into good music in sports. We'll do that next. It's McCarthy in for Joe.
You're listening to Joe.
for the people. Is Round Ball Rock the greatest sports television theme of our time? It's right up there. Give me a little more of that. Doesn't this take you back to the Jordan years? What's John Tesh's deal? Like, has he done anything else besides Round Ball Rock? Guy's a syndicated radio program because of this? Like, what else has he done? And this is probably complete ignorance on my behalf, which, again, I mean, I've proven I'm an ignorant person. I get that. I understand that. Has John Tesh done anything else besides Round Ball Rock? And did he parlay that into being a radio guy? Like, what's the deal? What's his backstory?
He has 6 Emmys and 4 gold albums.
What are the other songs?
I guess we're going to find out.
That's something we should research tonight. What songs did John Tesh do? Round Ball Rock. I don't know any of these other songs. I don't know. Like, if we just started playing John Tesh stuff, would I know it? Would I be like, yeah, it's John Tesh? Outside of Round Ball Rock, I don't know. Guy has 6 Emmys, huh? I mean, I get you would win an Emmy for Round Ball Rock. Like, best music, no doubt. That's a slam dunk. Pardon the basketball pun. I don't know. It's weird. Whole thing is strange. And he played at Red Rocks because of Round Ball Rock. I love Round Ball Rock. But
I have seen a video of him at Red Rocks doing Round Ball Rock.
I have too. Round Ball Rock. Live at Red Rocks, 1995. Red Rocks, dude. It's one of the premier concert venues in our nation. The guy who wrote Round Ball Rock is out there. I mean, is that like what is the like music equivalent to? I mean, I know it's all music, but all right, like last year Shaggy came to Mansfield. And I'm like, obviously, I mean, I would go see Shaggy, but you're going to see It Wasn't Me, right? You're going to wait 2 hours. You're going to go down there. You're going to get in line to hear Shaggy do It Wasn't Me. You got to do a little more to bring me in. Like the same thing with John Tesh. Like, would I see an orchestra do Round Ball Rock? Of course I would see an orchestra do Round Ball Rock. What else are you giving me in my 2 hour period of time? Like, I went to the Foo Fighters last night. You want to see Times Like These. You want to hear My Hero, Everlong, Best of You, Monkey Wrench. Even if you're not a casual, you're just like a casual Foo Fighters fan, you're like, I know this one. You giving me one song? One? What's the cost of that ticket? Anyway, Round Ball Rock is returning. Reportedly, John Tesh has gone into the studio in Nashville with a 60-member orchestra to redo Round Ball Rock, which is great. Give me a bigger sound. Modernize that thing a little bit. Give me Round Ball Rock 2024 because NBC got NBA rights. And now we find out today that TNT, Warner, whoever owns TNT at this point, they have tried to match part of the NBA deal, which would, if it works out in TNT's favor, keep Chuck and Shaq and Ernie and Kenny together and inside the NBA, which is something you should want. TNT matching Amazon's offer. I'm not the world's biggest fan of the TNT in-game presentation. I think it lacks in just about every sport. I think their NBA presentation is fine in-game. Their studio work in just about every sport is excellent. Even hockey, they're okay with hockey. They're all right with hockey. Baseball, they do great baseball studio work in October. I mean, their broadcasts of the MLB playoffs have blown for years. I would actually say it's one of the worst broadcasts in sports. The in-game TNT, TBS, October broadcast, terrible. They don't know how to do in-game, but their studio work is great. Pedro anchoring those broadcasts, it's awesome. And obviously the NBA, that's the gold standard. Inside the NBA is the gold standard for studio work and television. So I hope it stays. I hope it stays there. Fewer games on Amazon, fine by me. Streaming thing, I don't think the quality of the streams are all that great. Give me cable. I pay for cable. I'm old school like that. I love my Xfinity. Big fan of my Xfinity. I know I don't have to worry about the connection. It's right there. It's on demand. Boom. There you go. Don't have to worry about that. I've got the last button. The last button. How have we not figured out the last button with streaming? One of the great failings of our society at this point. All this technology, we don't have the last button. Some of those don't have the back 15 seconds button. I need the back 15 seconds button. Keep it on TNT. Totally fine with that. 617-779-0985. One more before the headlines. Tom in Arizona. Tom.
Hey, how's it going, McCarthy?
How you doing?
Good. So, the Foo Fighters are my favorite band, and I grew up the first 18 years of my life in Massachusetts, and I live in Arizona now. I've seen them 10 times, Massachusetts, Vegas, Arizona, California. I'm so jealous of you having gone and seen them at Fenway. I've never seen them at Fenway, but I've always said as big of a Sox, Patriots, Red Sox, Celtics, and Bruins fan as I am, if I could meet one person, it wouldn't be Brady, it wouldn't be Paul Pierce, it would be Dave Grohl. Like, he's the best.
Legend. Last great rock star. Although, I thought of one during the commercial break. He's not on Dave Grohl's level, but he's a rock star. And it's more the group in general, but the frontman, Brandon Flowers, the Killers. Now, he doesn't have, the cachet, I would say, that, Dave Grohl or Billy Joe Armstrong have. But the Killers, that's 10 years after the Foo Fighters came on the scene. Close to it, right? Hot Fuzz, 2002? Something like that? Are the Killers the last great rock band? There's a question for you. You put that in your pipe and smoke it. Mr. Brightside, when you were young, one of the great rock songs of the last 20 years. No doubt about it. Think about that. Have we had a good rock band since the Killers?
I've seen some Arctic Monkeys chat, and they're fine, but yeah, I would not consider them at that level.
Doesn't do it for me. And I agree, not at that level. So here's what I would say about a great rock band. You need to have, not to say crossover hits, but like everybody knows Mr. Brightside. What's the biggest Arctic Monkey song?
Yeah, if you ask he wouldn't even know who they were, probably.
Right. But everybody knows Mr. Brightside. Most people know when you were young. But Mr. Brightside, trust me, that thing comes on at Fenway, that place gets rocking. Because everybody knows it and everybody sings along. No, Arctic Monkeys, they don't make the cut. They're, smaller bands. I'm a Gaslight Anthem guy, but, they're not, I'm seeing them in a couple weeks. MGM. Should be a good time. But, 5,000-seat arena. What's the next rock band that's going to bang out Gillette or bang out Fenway? Like, it's the Foo Fighters. That's kind of it. Or the Killers. We need more. More rock and roll. 617-779-0985. Need some wide receivers around here. Brandon Ayuk. Let's get to the latest with him. We'll do that next. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray. Quick update, no commercials. Right back with you.
Tire Studios, the only place to hear the local call of the game is right here. WBC-FM at 8 Boston. Boston's home for sports. 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox, Colorado Rockies tonight. Tanner Houck on the mound. Sox trying to get their first win of the second half after getting swept in Los Angeles over the weekend. Closer Kenley Jansen will not be with the team this weekend or this week. Does not pitch in Denver, has AFib and has dealt with some issues there in the past at altitude. Team USA Basketball picked up a win today as they continue their exhibition slate ahead of the 2024 Summer Games. They held off Germany 92-88. LeBron James led the way with 20 points. Speaking of LeBron, he's been chosen as the male flag bearer for the U.S. at Friday's opening ceremony. Xander Schauffele won the Open yesterday, took home the Claret Jug. It is his second major title of the season, shot a final round 65 to win the tournament at Royal Troon. Headlines are brought to you by MIFA. providing resources to help you plan for college. That's MEFA.org. I'm Matt McCarthy on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub, and your next update, 30 minutes.
Boston's first FM, all sports radio station. Let's go! All sports radio. Boston's home for sports. Let's go in the middle! 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Heavy metal versus rock. I do draw. There is a difference there. I should go see him.
These guys are also like 60 years old, so I wouldn't consider them like they are rock stars. They're not like the next rock star.
Right. They're metal stars.
Yeah.
But by the way, like have those lines been blurred more than ever before? Like rock and metal? I would say they have. So. I would say they have been. Foo Fighters did some heavy stuff last night. I mean, not like Metallica heavy, but, you know. Yeah. Oh, their lead guitarist riffed on Enter Sandman. It was good. I enjoyed that. I should go see Metallica in a couple weeks. I've never seen them. I would do that. But like the whole, Metallica needs to, Metallica should play the Super Bowl halftime. I get this every year. Oh, what about Metallica? Yeah, they already have you, 55-year-old metal guy. They do. What they're trying to bring in is 28-year-old, Olivia Rodrigo fan.
That's why we're getting Miley this upcoming year, I believe.
Oh, she is going to be this year, right?
I think that's the rumor.
She'll be a good one. You want to talk about legit star? Miley. Legit star. That'll be all right. Who was this past year? Why am I forgetting? Oh, it was Usher. Didn't do it for me.
Not for you, McCarthy.
No, not for me, though. Not for me. Understand it. It's the most important thing. But what about Metallica? Yeah, nope. They've moved on from that. They've moved on from you, old white guy. Nope. They've already got you. You're watching the game. About reaching different audiences. Metallica, I'd be for it. Nope. That's not the show you're going to get. Plus, Metallica doesn't have the widespread appeal of, and don't get me wrong, they're huge, right? I love Metallica. That doesn't work. That does not work. 617-779-0985. Got Red Sox thoughts on the board. We'll continue to take those. I do want to get into Brandon Ayuk, though. Are you buying this report, Skaz, that the Patriots offered a second-round pick for Brandon Ayuk this past year before the draft, and they were willing to pay him $28 million? Do you buy that?
Yeah, I buy it because I don't think it's enough money. That's why I buy it.
Yeah, I buy it too. But I think the reason it didn't happen, I've heard some people saying, well, it didn't happen. Why would the 49ers turn that down? Alex Barth has pointed it out, and it's so true. The 49ers are trying to win. Kyle Shanahan needs to win now. They're in win now mode. So letting Brandon Ayuk walk this upcoming offseason, or franchising him, or whatever that comes out to being, getting a third-round compensation pick is better for the 49ers than trading Brandon Ayuk now and getting a second. Yes, is that fair value for Brandon Ayuk, a top 35 pick, 36 pick, whatever it was for the Patriots this past year? Of course that's fair value. I'm even willing to go so far as to believe the reporting that they wanted to give him $28 million a year. What I just don't believe is I don't believe the 49ers are all that interested in trading him. Why would they? Let him play out the year. Franchise him if you want. Let him walk if you want and get a third-round pick. You're trying to win a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan needs a Super Bowl for his legacy. They are in win-now mode. There might not be a team in the NFL in more of a win-now mode than the 49ers. Why would they trade Brandon Ayuk? So we can have the conversation, right? Should the Patriots be in on him? Ayuk has requested a trade, which is how this story gets moved forward. Yes, of course they should be in on him. Are you encouraged by the reporting that they were in on him? Yes, I am. That signals a change from the Belichick era. Hopefully it signals a change that the Crafts are actually willing to spend some money on their football team, which they have not been willing to do for years now, at this point. $28 million a year for that guy, that's a significant financial investment. That's what I want to hear. I believe it. I just don't believe that the 49ers would want to make the deal. I still don't believe the 49ers want to make that deal happen. Here's the good news, though. Let's say the 49ers don't want to move on from Brandon Ayuk, which, again, I don't think they would want to. Alex Barth has made this point, 985thesportshub.com, and it's such a good one. And I think it bears repeating. Wide receivers always become available in the NFL. That's the way the league is now. If you miss out on one, there's going to be another one available 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now. It's not about finding the wide receiver at this point. There's more talent at that position than at any point in the history of the league, in the history of the sport. There are better wide receivers right now in the NFL than there ever have been, a better crop of wide receivers. I'm not saying there's a guy in the league as good as Jerry Rice or Randy Moss. I'm not saying that. I'm not. But 1 through 10, 1 through 20, 1 through 30, there is more talent at that position there has ever been in the history of the game. And they become available all the time. All the time. It's not about finding the guy. It's about when you find him and when you make that move. And I just don't know that it's entirely the right time just yet for the Patriots. Because Drake May isn't your starter yet. Now, if Drake May were your starter, I'd be saying go all in right now. I'm okay with it being next year. You have to do it eventually, and the Ayuk report signals to me that the Patriots are interested in doing that. That's all good news. 6 months from now, it might be DK Metcalf. 6 months from now, it could be receiver X. Name the guy. Somebody wants out. Somebody's coming to the end of their rookie deal. You name it. You can draft somebody finally. Maybe Jalen Polk turns into a star. I'm not counting on it, given their history of drafting wide receivers. But hey, Bill's gone, so maybe it's different. Just something to monitor there. Something to keep in mind. It's not about finding the guy. That guy's available right now. All the time in the NFL. So it's not like if you miss out on Ayuk because the Niners don't want to trade him, it's not like that's your last chance. Far from it. Somebody will be available next offseason. I just hope next offseason or whenever this moment comes, the Patriots are still willing to offer, say, a second-round pick. Or more importantly, to be willing to pay the guy. 617-779-0985. Got Patriots thoughts on the board. Red Sox thoughts on the board. Hang tight. We got Bill Koch, Providence Journal, joining us next. Talk some Sox.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. Felger and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Home.
Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray. Night 8 of 8 here. I'm not feeling it all. Not feeling it at all. Still have the same energy I had 8 days ago, no doubt about it. Definitely hasn't worn on me, no, not one bit. I don't need guests, not one bit, but when you have Bill Koch available, you need to go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Bill Koch covers the Red Sox and everything else for the Providence Journal. Follow him on Twitter at BillKoch25. What's up, Bill? How you doing?
McCarthy, I'm doing well. Very nicely played here on your Everyday Eddie streak.
Now, Bill, did I see you were up in New Hampshire? We've been doing a lot of music on the show tonight. Did I see you were up in New Hampshire for Dave Matthews? Is that correct?
I was last week. I took a few days up by Lake Winnipesaukee. It was lovely.
You know, I've never been to that venue. I hear it's great.
If you've been to Great Woods, and I will not call it Xfinity Center because I grew up here, it will always be Great Woods to me. Similar vibe, just about half the size. So a little bit more accessible. Seating is a little bit closer. Parking situation and the surroundings are a little bit less crowded. It is a very nice venue, a very nice place to go for a few days.
Now, I feel like going away to see Dave Matthews for a baseball writer is kind of like a knockoff version of going away to see Bruce Springsteen. It's not like full-blown baseball nerd, but like there's a level of the BBWAA. I think like that's kind of like entry level, right? And then when you get your Hall of Fame vote, you graduate to seeing Springsteen and traveling across the country. Is that the way it works in the BBWAA, Bill?
This is probably the next generation BBWAA stuff. I know, this might also spread to baseball announcers as well. I think I've seen on social media that Don Orsillo went to a Dave Matthews show in Toronto on a road trip at one point with Jenny Dell.
Yeah, that checks, as the kids would say. That checks for sure. What is it with us baseball people, Bill? It's like you can just put us really into one category. I mean, there really is no difference. I mean, the biggest difference is, are you a Springsteen guy or a Dave Matthews guy? I'm not really a Dave Matthews guy, but I'm a Springsteen guy. Like, what is it about us?
On both. I think it's just the baseball mindset. You get into the routine of every day and sort of going to the park at the same time and being in the clubhouse at the same time. And so you might just like the routine and the comfort that comes with seeing the same band over and over again.
Yeah, it seems to make sense. Once again, as the kids say, that checks. Bill Koch joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Bad weekend for the Sox. Not great. What do you make of, does the weekend affect in any way how they approach the deadline moving forward? Do you buy in on them being buyers at the deadline? What's your read on this, Bill?
Yeah, it was a brutal weekend. I think the most disheartening thing that I saw on social media yesterday was just how convinced the fan base is that ownership wanted this in some way, that they wanted to be swept by the Dodgers so that they wouldn't have to buy. And I think that's a sad commentary on the trust that's been broken between Red Sox ownership and the fan base. I think the folks who go to Fenway Park and who follow this team and who have for a long time, like yourself, McCarthy, I think are genuinely convinced that the ownership is against you right now, that they legitimately want to win less than you do. And I think that's sad commentary on the Red Sox currently.
Bill, I think that's such a good point. You have said for years, and I think in some ways it was the definitive commentary on the Chaim Bloom era. You said the worst thing about Chaim Bloom is he helped lower the standards. He was complicit in lowering the standards around here. And I think you're right. I mean, you sum up the Red Sox fan experience. There is a large contingent of Red Sox fans who feel like ownership doesn't believe in this team and will look for any excuse not to believe in this team. And the fact that, I don't know, Sam Kennedy came out this offseason and really tried to push back against that, said we're all liars if we believe that they haven't invested in this team. But isn't it a reflection that the damage is done? Because you're right, Bill. I mean, say what you will about whether any of that is true, right? And I opened the show tonight saying, I don't believe it. I still think they're going to buy. I'm just reading the tea leaves here. I'm listening to the things they've said. I'm listening to the reports from Buster Olney yesterday. I still think they're going to buy, but I don't fault you one bit if you're a Red Sox fan if you say, I don't trust them, I don't believe them. In fact, I believe the exact opposite. I believe what you just said, Bill, that they actually don't want to win, and they're celebrating. They're popping champagne at Fenway today that they were swept. Like, that does exist.
Perception becomes reality, and they've actively fostered that at the last two deadlines and really in the last two off seasons when they haven't really made the sort of splashy addition at the top of the free agent market that they may have before. And I certainly think that this team is worthy of investment. I think they've played well. This could be the last ride with Alex Cora. I think you want to try to maximize that as you get into September and October because you do have one of the better managers in the game. And I do think that if you have young players who are here and you think they're going to be here and part of this core for an extended period, I think you need to help set a culture for them. And the culture here in Boston traditionally has been winning and playing into October and pursuing championships. You can't look at them and say, sorry, guys, we don't think you can beat the Royals and the Twins. I think that would be an awful message to send.
So in regards to what they need to do at the deadline, bullpen help is skyrocketing, for me at least, after that series. Where do you put a bullpen arm on your list of needs right now for the Sox, Bill?
I think you could also help that, Matt, if you got a starter, because the Red Sox right now are in the top 10 in the league in terms of bullpen innings. And if you look at the bottom 10 of the league in terms of bullpen innings, you will find more playoff teams there than in the top 10. I think you need a starter who can bolster your rotation, who can go deep into games. I don't think that's any different from what we said their needs were in the offseason. They just didn't necessarily act convincingly. I don't feel like they thought they were going to be in contention this year, but now here we are, and you could react accordingly. The name that gets a lot of smoke here is Jameson Taillon, obviously. Jed Hoyer said today that the Cubs are likely to sell. They don't really have many rental assets aside from Kyle Hendricks and Hector Neris, but they do have some players under contract who would be attractive. Taillon, Cody Bellinger, Seiya Suzuki, Nico Herner, and it feels like Taillon, who was brought in while Breslow was with the Cubs, would be a natural fit here in Boston and with the current chief baseball officer.
Makes sense. He's under contract for a couple more years here. He's owed roughly how much? What's 68 divided by 4? Don't ask me to do math. So I mean, here's the thing: they're gonna take on some money there. Do you think they're willing to take on that money?
Well, I would certainly hope that they are. I mean, we know what Sam Kennedy has said recently, that they'll have resources available at the deadline. They're about $19 million under the first threshold of the CBT. So if you bring in Taillon 105 games into the year, you're on the hook for about a third of his salary, which would be, anywhere between $5, $6, $7 million, let's say. So you would still have room under the CBT to make additional moves. And that means that just in a wider focus, you could bring in an $18, $20 million player. You could bring in 2 of those and still be under the CBT. So the Red Sox are in position here, if they feel like it, if they find a match, to add a couple pretty good players at this deadline.
$17 million a year, thanks to everybody on the YouTube chat. And yes, did I go to my phone while Bill was answering that? Yes. $17 million a year they would owe Taillon, which, to me, at this point, Bill, in this day and age in baseball, is not a significant amount of money, for a guy who's, got a career ERA of 3.9 and, he would just fit here. And not to mention, too, the Breslow connection. That certainly means something. Breslow has, I think we understand, Breslow has a certain type of pitcher that he likes. Power guy, that's what Taillon has been for, quite some time. He didn't end up being the pitcher that we all thought he was going to be, but he still had a pretty solid big league career. He's had some injuries, but has really been durable for the last 4 years now at this point. To me, he's very intriguing. Very intriguing. What type of thing are you willing to give up for somebody like Taillon? He's going to cost you, a decent amount, given he's got some term left. I don't know if that's going to cost you one of your big 3. I certainly wouldn't want to trade one of the big 3 for him. I would look at, Garrett Crochet if I'm moving Meyer or Anthony. But is everything else in the organization untouchable for you if we're talking about a guy like Taillon?
Well, the thing about the Cubs is they have less than $4 million in flexibility. getting into the CBT, and a lot of their players have signed already through next year. So this could be a deadline where they look to shed pieces with control just to give themselves some flexibility into 25 and into 26. I would think if you're the Red Sox, you call them and you're willing to take on Taillon's salary. I don't know if you'll need to touch really any of your top echelon prospects. For me, certainly if you can get a player with term, if you're talking about a future all-star type, that's the way you get into the Meyer, Anthony Teal discussion. But otherwise, in theory, you've taken the last 3 or 4 years building the system depth. Let's see it. Let's see you deal Nick York or Matthew Lugo or someone in that sort of middle tier where you have players in their positions ahead of them. Blaze Jordan should be on the table now that you've extended Rafael Devers.
Yep. Nick York.
Why shouldn't those players come up in conversation now that it feels like you have some organizational depth at certain positions?
And Breslow, to me, has sounded like a guy in the last week who understands that they're particularly left-handed dominant in the minor leagues, too, not only in the major leagues, but at the minor leagues. He understands that there are redundancies there, which is one of the many reasons why I do think they're going to add at this deadline. And I think a lot of people think it's lip service, which, as we talked about earlier on, Bill, but I do think they're going to add. Bill Koch, Providence Journal, joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Do you believe as strongly as I do that they also need a right-handed bat?
Yeah, you need to balance the lineup a little bit, and certainly you need to get some offensive production either out of first or second base. I'm getting more and more skeptical that Tristan Casas will come back here for a meaningful portion of the remainder of the game.
You and me both, Bill. Good point. I would not count on him coming back. I think that's a very important point we all need to make. Sorry, continue.
And I say that because torn rib cartilage is a serious injury, and it's not something that you can repair surgically. It just takes time. And that always felt like he was going to be out longer than what they initially hoped. And so basically, you've gotten very little out of first base, which is supposed to be a prime position. You get very little out of designated hitter. Masataka Yoshida has been a disaster through a year and a half here. So I wouldn't be opposed to giving right-handed at bats to anyone, either at first base or at DH or in right field at this point, because Wilyer Abreu has not proven that he can hit left-handed pitching, and you've seen him in the Yankees and Dodgers series get attacked by right-handed pitching as well. I wouldn't necessarily make him an everyday player or somebody who's going to play 70 or 80% of the time. So I think there is room to add at first base, at second base, as a DH, and in right field. I think those are all positions where you could get some help with a right-handed hitter.
Bill, before I let you go, a source texts in. He seems to indicate that you are going to be at Blink 182 tomorrow. Is that true?
Allegedly, I am. Yes.
I would encourage you, if you're waffling in the terms of Buster Olney to describe the Red Sox in recent years, if in any way you're waffling about Blink 182, I don't know if this helps make your decision for you for or against, but I too will be in attendance at Blink 182, and there could be a drink or four before then, before the program, before the show tomorrow night, if you end up at Blink 182 with you and this source that reaches out to me. So I'm just saying, if you're waffling in any way, don't.
I am going to be there. And as we were talking about Dave Matthews and then Springsteen being the baseball writer's favorite, there are going to be some sorry-looking Patriots writers on that first morning of training camp if I know them and their Blink 182 fandom.
I think it can be a big show tomorrow night. Big show for media types. A lot of folks I hear going to this one. So I will see you tomorrow night. It'll be a hell of a time. And let's put a few back, shall we?
Excellent. Sounds good.
All right. He is Bill Koch from the Providence Journal. Jesus, McCarthy. Providence Journal, joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Always the best. Bill Koch. Guys, you should bang out for the night. You should come to Blink 182 with us. It's going to be a good time.
Blink is a show that I think I would be interested, more inclined to go than, and I have nothing against the Foo Fighters, just I've never caught myself just randomly listening to the Foo Fighters, whereas in my younger days, Blink was in the rotation for sure.
Big millennial week at Fenway. Really millennial 2 or 3 weeks. You get Green Day coming in a few weeks. This is just straight up millennial stuff.
The nostalgia summer.
Oh, it's like the Warped Tour all over again, baby. Met the girl from the Rock show, right? Met her at the Warped Tour. Probably spin that one tomorrow night. It'll be a good time. Good time. 617-779-0985. I got music calls on the line. I've got Red Sox calls on the line. We did some Patriots. Welcome for you as well. We'll get to you next. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox and Rockies tonight. 8-9 days in a row, this time of year. It's never really fazed me. This year, I'm feeling it. I have taken some punches. Gasper, he said, you've been out in the sports Sahara all week. Nothing to talk about. Actually, I disagree. I don't think it's the worst week in sports. I would say that's February vacation. But yeah, like MLB All-Star Week leading into Patriots training camp, yeah, it's generally the sports Sahara. I get that. We got stuff to talk about. Red Sox have been compelling. Thanks to Bill Koch for joining us. Patriots news, Ayuk. A Sammy Bucket signing? We'll get to that. Do in or out in a little bit, but you've been waiting patiently. I take care of the people. That's what I do. Man of the people. John in Hampton Beach. John.
What's going on?
How you doing?
They were taking my call. I appreciate it. Just want to hit up. You hear me?
I got you.
Right on. First of all, Metallica. Never seen them. One of my favorite bands. My wife hates them, but I'd love to see them. Second, the Sox. Jansen not being in Colorado kind of stinks, but coming off the sweep, probably expected, but at the same time, looking good. I just want to look positive, going forward, and we'll see what happens.
Me too, John. Did we have John earlier tonight?
Different John.
Different John.
Similar call, but different John.
Really? I feel like it was the same. Now, I mean, it shows up on my call screener that they were different.
Very similar.
Is this like a Tommy and Lynn, and who does Felger always say? It's like if you wanted proof that Tommy and Lynn, and is it Ryan and Bill Ricca?
It sounds correct.
Yeah. But they're both John in Hampton Beach.
One, I believe, comes up as Hampton. The other comes up as Hampton Beach. Two different numbers, two different guys, same call.
Is it Hampton or Hamden? Have we confirmed that? This is a Western Mass thing.
Not a lot of confirmation back here.
This is a Western Mass thing. Well, we should get on that. We should be spot on in what we're doing here. Next time John in Hampton calls, and make sure it's Hampton, New Hampshire, not Hamden, Mass, or Hamden County. Not that we do like county things here in Massachusetts. You ever thought about counties? It's kind of a weird thing, right? Like, isn't that it? Counties, kind of for loser states, right? Oh, I'm from this county. Great. Yeah, no, I'm from a town or a city. Nobody does the county thing here. I mean, I guess you kind of do Berkshire County, right? Is that where it really gets into? Like, and Barnstable County, just because it's the entire Cape, like that's an easy one. We don't do counties here. Bet half of you couldn't even tell me what county you live in. Sometimes I forget. Like, am I in Bristol? Am I in Norfolk? And then you get your jury duty and you get reminded of that. It's like, wait a minute, why do I have to go down to Fall River again? Why do I have to do that? Plymouth County. Wait, you're not sending me to Plymouth? Why am I going to Brockton? What's the deal with this? Huh? It's the only time I ever noticed. Is like, yeah, what county you're from? Isn't Cohasset Norfolk County? Is it Cohasset or Scituate? One of those towns out there is just random ass in Norfolk County. Doesn't border anything else in Norfolk County. It's just surrounded by Plymouth. It's strange. It's kind of like Alaska. It's like it doesn't border the rest of the United States. It borders Canada. It's either Cohasset or Scituate. It's one of those two towns.
It's Cohasset.
Cohasset, Norfolk County? Why? That's some strange crap, man. Can we get to the bottom of that? Hey, Cohasset, what's your deal? 617-779-0985. Is that where Morgan's from, or is he Scituate? Listen, I'm a South Shore guy. Cohasset and Scituate are the same. Same town. Sorry, hate to break it to you. Same town. But one's Plymouth County, one's Norfolk County. What's the deal with that? Explain yourself. Mike in Florida. Mike.
Hey.
How you doing?
Am I on?
You're on. How you doing, Mike?
I'm fantastic.
Good, man.
You were talking about rock and roll bands, and you forgot one great band. It's Black Crowes. They have a new album out. Chris Robinson is one of the greatest frontmen of all time, and you forgot about them. And they're touring now, and they're absolutely great.
Was it the Black Crowes or the Black Keys who had to cancel their tour? That was the Black Keys,
No, the
right?
Black Crowes. The Black Crowes.
I think I'm hurting Mike a little bit. I do not. I'm not really. I don't know too much about the Black Crowes. What's the Black Crowes' biggest song, you think? She Talks to Angels? Is that their biggest song?
Probably. And yeah, they're good, fine band, but they're not on that level.
They've been going since 1984. Come on, no. Small Potatoes. And I'm not saying they're bad or whatever. I'm saying like big crossover, everybody knows that song type of thing. Rock bands aren't doing that anymore. The Black Crowes do not fall into that category. Their discography includes 9 studio albums, 4 live albums. Wait a minute. What is the appropriate studio album to live album ratio? 9-4 feels a little strong. You're telling me that half of your albums are live albums? I don't know. Even like the greatest live bands of all time. They crank it out for every 9 albums they crank out, they do 4 live albums? I don't know. That doesn't check, as the kids would say. I don't know. 617-779-0985. Hey, we got In or Out coming your way. We'll do that next.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
No, without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed.
In or out time on the Joe Murray Show. McCarthy in for Joe tonight. Got room for you, 617-779-0985. What do we have? What have you cooked up back there, Skaz, in the in or out laboratory?
All right, McCarthy, it's been a little while since you've joined us for an in or out. We have a Monday edition of in or out. We're going to start with some sports tonight. Why not? It was announced today that the one and only Connor Stallions, and if you're saying, who is Connor Stallions? Well, he was the man that was allegedly stealing signs for the University of Michigan. He will be getting a Netflix documentary in the Untold series about the viral villain. So, McCarthy, are you in or out on a Connor Stallions Netflix documentary about the sign-stealing scandal?
So, I'm in because I'm always in for a good, juicy story. And then I realized I'm never going to watch this thing, so I guess I'm out. Like, the premise of it is great. For somebody who gives a damn about college football, and I do not. For somebody who cares about cheating in sports, and I generally don't. So I guess I'm out. I'm technically out on that. Like, I could pretend like I'm going to be in and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to watch the Michigan Connor... What's his name?
Connor Stallions.
He's a stallion. Wow. So he's a stud. He's like a wild horse running around out there.
I think this would be far more interesting if, like, Michigan fell off a cliff after he got caught. If they, like, lost in the college playoff or something.
Yeah, like...
The fact that they just rolled over everybody,
Yeah, I think I'm good with it. Harbaugh's gone now. I think I'm good with it. Out. No, I will not. I won't watch it. Barth, tell me how it is, all right? You can tell me why it's the most... Barth will be like, this is the most groundbreaking documentary in the history of everything. You got to understand because it's a college football scandal. I don't care. There's always a college football scandal. I don't care. Great documentaries of all time. What am I thinking of? Free Solo. Great. No. Oh, this is the Free Solo of, like, college football. Screw you.
Anything by Ken Burns.
Yes. This is Ken Burns' Civil War. Yeah, no, it's not, pal. No, it's not. By the way, you want to... And I say this as a Ken Burns guy, right? I mean, do you think... Let's be honest. You know me, Skaz. If Ken Burns baseball is on, if it's on MLB Network, or if I stumble on it on GBH one night, do you think I'm watching Ken Burns baseball?
Oh, that's the rest of your night right there.
Boom, baby. Babe. Honey, you want to come to bed? Nope, I don't. I'm watching Ken Burns baseball. It's the 5th inning, all right?
All right, we will stick with the sports theme. The hot takes have been flying as Team USA is playing its Olympic exhibition games. So, Matt McCarthy, are you in or out on the idea that there is cause for concern for Team USA heading into the Olympic Games?
Now, I know this is in or out. I'm probably required to give you an answer. Is there a third option here instead of in or out? There's I don't care. Is I don't care a good option?
You are not interested in the men's basketball in the Olympics?
Nope. Never have been, never will be. I don't. So what they almost lost to South Sudan, who's been a country for 17 minutes. They almost lost to Germany, right? Who obviously devote, their attention to football, right? I mean, that's their soccer. I don't care. I don't care one bit. It's a story if they lose, right? It's a story if they lose in the Olympics. It's like, shame on you.
And they're not going to lose.
They're not.
Spoiler alert. These
not.
are exhibition games.
They don't care.
They will be absolutely fine.
This is a party for them. Are they still in Abu Dhabi? Where are they?
I have no idea where they are.
Where are they jet setting at this point to go party before the Paris Olympics? No, I don't care. Don't care. Cause for concern? Nope. Not one bit. They've lost one Olympic gold in 30 years. 2004, which was a disaster, by the way. And then they had the Redeem team in 2008. Please. Oh, well, Carmelo Anthony is a 3-time gold medalist. Whoop-de-freaking-do. U.S. men's basketball. And this is not like I don't care about the Olympics. I do care about the Olympics. I'm an Olympics guy. I said this the other day. Somebody called in and was like, why aren't you talking about U.S. basketball versus South Sudan? And I'm like, if you want me to give you an Olympics take, call me in 2 weeks and I'll talk gymnastics with you. Because that's what the Olympics is about. Gymnastics, swimming. What else? You want me to talk 100-yard dash? 100-meter dash? It's the 100-meter, right? I'll talk about that with you. U.S. men's basketball. Out.
Yeah, I think Noah Lyles is in for an upset, but we can do that for another night. McCarthy, a viral
gymnast?
Noah Lyles is the men's favorite too.
Right.
He's the 100-meter guy.
He's from here,
now.
right?
I honestly don't know where.
Wait, no, isn't there a gymnast from here? From Brockton. Milligan was telling me about this.
I did 20 Olympians from Massachusetts. So all 20 Olympians. It's on the Sports Hub website if you want to find it.
I'm serious. I'm going to check that out because I like the Olympics.
20 Olympians from
20.
Mass. It's pretty good.
How'd you find 20 of them that you know or researched?
Hey,
Google's your friend.
Thank you, Olympic website, for making my life a lot easier, breaking it down state by state.
There we go.
All right, but McCarthy, a clip I saw going viral this weekend was a man at a baseball game dressed like a clown with a sign over his chest. It was a fantasy football punishment. So, McCarthy, with fantasy football season looming, are you in or out on fantasy football punishments?
I couldn't be more out on this. How overplayed is this stuff? Oh, well, you made him go into IHOP for 5 hours and eat pancakes with the sign that says, I suck at fantasy football. Okay, cool. You see that guy down there in the median? Yeah, no, he sucks at fantasy football, huh? He's out there wearing a pink tutu and he says, I'm not good at fantasy football. I drafted Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. So beyond played out. Rule one of everything. Nobody, and I mean nobody, cares about your fantasy football team. And you know what people really don't care about? Your fantasy football team from last year.
That sucked.
Yes, nobody cares.
I'm with you on this one. I think it's very played out at this point.
Strong out.
Yeah, all the good ideas have been done, and yeah, you stink at fantasy football. Congrats.
Right, congrats. Like that makes you know. Here's the thing. Hey, I got really unlucky at fantasy football because let me break it down for you. All right, Lockhart, if you're listening, Tuck Silva, anybody. You real fantasy people, let me break this down for you. Nobody's actually good at it. It's all about luck. It's all luck. That's all it is. Let me tell you, if I feel like I've had a good fantasy draft when I occasionally take part in fantasy, that's always the sign that my team sucks. And if I don't give a crap, you stand just as good a chance. I'm telling you, just as good a chance if you forget the draft and you auto-draft in fantasy football. I'm dead serious about that. I see this every year. This league I'm in with my brother and his friends, you got some girlfriends and wives in the league, and a couple of them don't care. A couple of the guys don't care. They don't show up to the draft. They're just as good as everybody else. You know why? Because you don't know anything. Because fantasy football, fantasy any sport really, but fantasy football in particular, it's all luck, folks. Oh, no. Fantasy draft expert. Fantasy draft expert. Loser.
Tell me how you really feel.
Worthless.
All right, McCarthy, with the movie Twisters coming out this past weekend, our intern Christina went to see it, said it was very good, but that led me to this question. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently 4D movie theaters are now being used in some places for movies like Twister. In these 4D movie theaters, you can experience motion seats and special effects, including wind, fog, mist, rain, scents, and more to perfectly sync up to the on-screen action. So, McCarthy, would you be in or out on a 4D movie theater experience?
I think I'm in on this. I feel like I've experienced this. Where have I experienced this? I'm trying to remember. Like U2 3D or something? Did they do some of this like 20 years ago? I feel like they might have. Don't they do stuff like this at like Disney too? It's almost like a Disney ride.
I feel like I went to the one in California, not Disney, but like the thing that's Universal maybe, whatever's next to it. And they had like a ride over California thing where you like flew through California and like they sprayed like, the orange mist in your face and you go by the ocean, you get hit with some water. So yeah, something like that. But for a movie, I don't know. I feel like this is it's very dependent on the movie if this would work.
Agreed. No doubt about it. Like what?
Like Twister might be good.
Perfect. perfect, right? You feel the wind and all that. Do I want to really feel like what Normandy was like, Saving Private Ryan? Do I really want to feel that? I don't need the immersive experience. We can cut the immersive experience off in some places, but you're right. No, for the right movie, I would be totally in on this.
Yeah, as someone who hammered Dramamine as a child for long car rides, I don't know if I'm seeing any like Pirates of the Caribbean in one of these theaters.
Yeah, some race car movie or
yeah,
whatever.
no thank you.
Like action movie. But I could do that. Like I could get into like the action. Although I don't know, like if you flip a car in an action movie, like I don't know if I want to flip with you.
There's popcorn going everywhere in the theater. You're spilling your drink. Yeah, I might be out on this.
No, you're right. For the right movie, totally in. Great idea. I'm all for the immersive experience. Wrong movie, strong out. Dependent answer right there.
All right, McCarthy, we will wrap up our Monday edition of In or Out with this one. You're a golf guy. I'm a golf guy. Xander Schauffele won his second major over the weekend. And so the takes are coming out. Our poor Kevin Majori has to deal with them when it comes to Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy. But Xander finds himself now 2 majors away from a career Grand Slam. So are you in or out on the idea that Xander Schauffele will complete the Grand Slam before Rory McIlroy?
I'm so in on this, and it's easy because Rory will never complete the Grand Slam.
He's never winning at Augusta?
That choking dog. You a-hole.
Did you see he admitted to it too?
Yes. Good for him. I did not see that, but good for him for admitting to being a choking dog.
He said when he was on his 22nd hole or whatever, and he was 6 or 7 over, he was just thinking about where he was going on vacation afterwards. It's if you do that, you're done. You're done.
He's cooked.
He'll
never win again.
He could win. He's not winning a major again.
Oh no. He'll win the RBC Canadian Open. And everybody will be like, Rory's back. Never again will I get duped by that guy. Never again. Because I'm an idiot, I bet that thing on Sunday. Guys, you know me. I'm a Rory guy. He's a good Irish boy.
I'm a Xander guy, so it was a profitable weekend.
He's a good Irish boy, and I'm I like Rory personally. I do. Personally. Like the man. Like the guy. You meet him, and you're like, what a delight. I am such a Rory guy. That a-hole has broken me more times than I can be broken as a golf fan, because again, it's an individual sport, and in the end, I'm just watching for competition, so I guess I don't really care who wins and loses. Rory, that guy, I have been brokenhearted by him way too many times. Screw you, Rory. Yeah, no, he'll never win. I don't know if Schauffele will complete the slam. He might, but I'll tell you damn straight right here tonight, Rory McIlroy will never win at Augusta. Ever.
And what will happen, too, because he's Rory, is there is a major at Quail Hollow next year. I think it's the PGA. He'll win because he always wins at Quail Hollow, and people will get back on the train, and then he'll show up to Augusta in the fall and fall apart again. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Rory, I'm not the biggest Rory guy, and so I wouldn't say I enjoy watching the struggle, but it is some good sports schadenfreude just to see a guy that has all the talent in the world and he gets that putter in his hands late in these tournaments and rather be holding a rattlesnake at times. It's just something to watch.
Brad Faxon once said he was one of the top 10 putters of all time.
Yeah, well, Brad Faxon's his putting coach.
That's
so
right.
What do you expect?
Put him number 10 on the list. I said, I don't know if I would agree with that. All right, it's in or out on Monday night. Not great, Rory. Not great. Well, thanks for bringing me down, Skaz. I appreciate that, for talking Rory with me.
Yeah, your guy Lowry almost did it.
Another good Irish boy. Always root for the Irishman. That's my
throwing
approach.
some fits out there this weekend.
I missed most of the Open. I generally do. Not an early morning guy. Bucket list sports event, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Open, no doubt about it. 617-779-0985. Quick update. We got Brian Robb coming your way at 9:20 tonight. I see your calls. We'll get to them next.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, Celtics, the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Revolution play here. WBC-FM and HD Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub, a BC Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox trying to bounce back from their weekend series in Los Angeles. They are scoreless with the Rockies in the third inning at Coors Field tonight. Team USA eked out a win over Germany today, getting ready for the 2024 Summer Games in basketball. 92-88 the final. LeBron with 20 points is going to be the male flag bearer the opening ceremonies in Paris on Friday. Xander Schauffele, much to the pleasure and excitement of James Scaramuzino, won the Claret Jug yesterday. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Matt McCarthy. Your next update at 9:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
McCarthy in for Joe Murray tonight. Got Brian Robb coming our way in a few minutes. Got to talk about the Sam Hauser contract extension, everything going on with the Celtics. But you've been waiting patiently. Let's get to you. How about Brian in Andover? Brian!
What's going on, McCarthy? How's it going?
How's it going for you, Brian?
Great. So I love listening to the Sports Hub. I love hearing you fill in for Joe Murray right now. What are your thoughts on how Fred Toucher does his impersonation of you?
Oh, no. Those Red Sox. They stink. I think it's all in good fun. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely good fun. Fred's a pretty funny guy, and I think he does a really good job impersonating you.
Do you think I sound like what Fred thinks I sound like?
A little bit. I mean, every impersonation has some part of character to it, right? But sure. I think he does a pretty good job, and I think you're a pretty funny dude, being that you're like 6'10" and can't play basketball. So I think that adds to the character that Fred tries to impersonate.
Well, what do you think? What do you think the character is? Just because I have no athletic talent whatsoever, which is absolutely true.
This big gangly white guy who can't play sports but likes to talk about it and is a partial nerd.
Spot on. I don't disagree with anything you just said there.
Sounds like a majority of the Sports Hub right there.
Yep. Big gangly white guy who's got really nothing going for him. Yeah. There's a reason why we ended up in this business. Oh, no. Those Red Sox, they stink.
I'd take that over the Doris Burke impersonation any day of the week.
Now that legitimately makes me laugh every single time. I mean, I won't even try to do it justice. You see, I can do the Fred McCarthy. It's kind of easy. I mean, it's kind of easy to do. Red Sox. Bunch of poo-poo faces. See, it really doesn't take, and I'm not saying Fred doesn't have talent. I'm like, that Doris Burke impersonation is, I couldn't do anything like that. The McCarthy one, it doesn't, even I can do that one. And as we've established, I am a no-talent hack. I think that was Brian in Andover's point. He's like, McCarthy, I love you, but you have no talent. You're not good at anything,
McCarthy,
which I would say yes.
McCarthy, huge fan. You don't really have any talent, but a huge fan.
Right. No, I mean, I like you. I mean, you really have no redeeming quality about you whatsoever, but, you're kind of my guy. And I'm like, I will take this. This is the best compliment I've ever received in the history of the station. Wow, dude, you got nothing going for you, but you're kind of all right. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. I will say I was supposed to be on with Fred tomorrow. I had to unfortunately, through no fault of my own, I did have to back away from that. But that's nothing to do with Fred, whom I love and adore. And maybe he loves and adores me too, which is why he wants me to sound a certain way. Maybe just for Fred. 617-779-0985. People do ask me about that one, though. I was out on the golf course with a Sports Hub fan a few weeks ago. It's like, dude, I listen to Toucher and Hardy all the time. What do you think of Fred's impersonation? So you better believe as he's in his backswing, I'm like, well, look at that backswing. Ooh, you hit that ball nice.
It's a little southern twang in there.
There is. Fred says like I sound, like a southern man. To which I don't think that's where I say it. I don't really hear it, but some people say they hear a little of it. I think Hardy might be the most amused person at the station by it. He came up to me one day. He's like, dude, what do you think of this? It's like, I hadn't heard it before. I think it's hilarious. He's like, I think it's hilarious because it sounds almost nothing like you. But that's why I find it funny. I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Just this Southern guy who loves the Red Sox. And they stink. They are unfortunate. Brian Robb comes your way next.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Hey, do I need to do the Fred McCarthy voice now that the Red Sox are down 4-0 in this game? Well, that happened fast. Ownership celebrating this one. Nope. Looks like the pitching staff has not come back from the All-Star break yet. Will they ever return? Well, their fate may still be unlearned. John Wallach checked in. He said, my impression of myself sucks. I take great offense to. I think I do an excellent impression of me, of Fred impersonating me, of whatever that ultimately comes out to. Is it an impression of me or is it an impression of Fred? I don't know. I get confused there. We're in like this alternate reality here. I think it was an excellent McCarthy that I just did. An excellent one. We'll go to the Volkswagen dealer's expert hotline with somebody who knows his stuff. Talking Celtics, Brian Robb, Mass Live. Check him out on Twitter, at Brian T. Robb. B-Rob, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, but how's it going?
It's going good, man. It's going good. It would be going better if I were Sam Hauser. Did you hear Maz earlier today on Sam Hauser?
Yeah, the Brad Stevens is officially out of guys to give extensions to at this point. It's kind of a wild situation, but Sam Hauser, I think, certainly is in a situation where he has not been paid at all in his career. I think he was going to make $2 million this year. He's made $6 million in 4 NBA seasons. So for him to get locked in for life-changing money, again, clearly he could have gone for a bigger deal in a year from now, but he's not at a certain level of player where there's not risk involved in taking that kind of a gamble. And so once the price got up to a certain point that the Celtics were offering, he clearly jumped at it here.
Well, I mean, I guess it's pretty easy to spend some money when you know you're not going to be the one signing the check eventually, right? I mean, pretty good, pretty shrewd move by Irv and crew over there on Causeway Street. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, B-Rob, and what does this mean for the Celtics, moving forward? I mean, we knew that Tatum was going to get the extension this offseason. We thought that Hauser was probably going to get an extension. Talk about what this means for flexibility moving forward. I mean, we've had the old adage in the NBA that sometimes when you sign guys to big contracts that you actually think they're worth, that is worth a little bit more than what they're worth. It's a good thing because those deals become tradable, but that's not necessarily the case in the second apron, right? Like, what does this all mean for the Celtics moving forward?
Yeah, so it's fascinating, Matt. Like, Brad Stevens is making beyond just the craziness of all this money they're handing out for whoever buys his team to pay, essentially, and potentially have them have to come in as a villain in a year or two and say, we can't afford to pay $500 million a year to keep this team together. But from a competitive standpoint, for this, I think Brad Stevens is making a gamble here of saying, you know what, with all these new restrictions we have and our limitations with when we're spending high, the only way to really create a true contender is bring everyone back and then making the gamble that saying, okay, in a year or two when we are forced to break this up because the tax penalties get so high, we have all these guys on contracts that are going to be appealing enough to the rest of the league that even with these new restrictions of the second apron that limits how you can deal it, we're still going to be able to get off this money if we need to trade away a Porzingis or Drew Holiday or a Hauser or a Pritchard, whoever becomes a casualty down the line. But we actually think we'll be able to get something for these guys because they're signing at money that is okay now and is going to look even more reasonable in a year or two once this new NBA TV deal comes into play, once the salary cap starts rising by, close to 8, 9, 10% a year. That's when these contracts that will look now like, oh, that's reasonable now. Be like, oh, actually, it's a bargain to get Sam Hauser at $10 million a year in 2026, or it's a bargain to get Derek White available, for just whatever, $28, $30 million a year, a couple years down the line. We don't know what decisions are going to be made with any of those guys, but it is, I think, honestly, a smart game because the other alternative here for the Celtics is just to roll the dice, let them walk away for nothing, and then only have minimum contracts to replace them, with no other assets coming in the door. And that's as far as sustainability, as far as being able to build this thing out, build it out around Tatum, Brown, whoever else is here for the long haul. I think that's probably a smart strategy.
Brian Robb joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. It is kind of it's a hell of a story, B-Rob. I mean, I have certainly, I don't want to say mocked. Okay, yeah, I've mocked Sam Hauser. You know, the Sam Hauser thing. I was one of the people yelling from the mountaintops when he was, 1 for 14 against Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals, saying, "Look at this regular season player. He's not the type of guy you can rely on at all." He had a great finals, man. Like, I don't know if it was a fluke. I don't know if it was an accident. I don't know if it was a one-off, but he was outstanding, I think, in the NBA Finals. He defended better than I ever thought he'd be capable of. I think he was, 11 for 24 or something like that. So, I mean, he shot the ball well, but he has grown so much as a player. He's actually not a complete and total liability on the defensive end. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen Sam Hauser defend as well as he did in the NBA Finals. Like, this is a testament not only to him, but to the Celtics as well for believing in this guy who actually did give them something in the NBA Finals, which to me, B-Rob, I never saw coming. Yeah, and the fact he did that, Matt, after he gave them absolutely nothing in that Pacers series. Like, I think he went 1 of 14 from 3 or something crazy in that sweep. It obviously didn't matter at that point because they were on cruise control for most of that series in terms of obviously winning games. But for him to bounce back on that stage against a Dallas team that was committed to going after him whenever they had a chance, and he's at 6'8", he obviously has the size to hold up in a variety of different positions, and then for him to become a shot maker when all the chips were on the table on that front, to shake off what it was a bad Cavs series and what it was a bad Pacers series, and be someone that gave you 15 minutes a game and gave you a couple threes a game that the bench needed. Like, that is huge because that is the ultimate test for you. Like, okay, it's nice if you're a 42% three-point shooter in the regular season, which he's been for the last 2 seasons, but if that goes away in the playoffs and you're just unplayable, like he pretty much, like the year before under Joe Mazzulla, pretty much was a non-factor that playoff run. He played 15 games, only played 7 minutes, only shot 32% from 3 in that stretch. But for him to pretty much be that guy from start to finish all season long for this group, it's a huge thing for this team, and honestly a huge success story for the front office, because this is a guy who was undrafted, who they tapped immediately after the draft as a two-way player, and clearly has developed him into becoming something far more than that now in the last few seasons. And you have to hit on guys like this to become a finals team, because you're not going to be able to, pay everyone up and down the roster what you want to. So whether it's him, whether it's Pritchard, they really thread the needle pretty well for an area where most people thought the bench would be a liability entering this season, and because of Hauser, it really wasn't. B-Rob, I can't believe I haven't asked you about Summer League. I've had you on for 8 minutes here. Can you break this down for me? I mean, Jordan Walsh, talk to me about Summer League. I mean, I can't believe it wasn't our lead story tonight. It really is a reflection of how bad I am at my job. Summer League takes. Go, B-Rob. Well, listen, it was a really rough loss in the consolation round on Sunday. I don't know if you caught that. I didn't, and I'm mad at myself that I didn't. I mean, you think the Celtics are feeling badly about it. Imagine how I feel. As half the team was already sent home. No, it's there's actually a lot of talent out there for a team that has won the title and hasn't had many draft picks in the last few years. If you're Brad Stevens, he's the one who's been trading away. But clearly, Bailey Sharman, he got some action out there. It wasn't, I'd say it was okay Summer League for him. He didn't shoot the ball well, but looked like an NBA player, kind of did okay defensively. Whether or not he actually makes any kind of a impact this year is going to be pretty much dependent on training camp and whether other guys get hurt. But the more interesting guys to me, like Jaden Springer, the Celtics traded for him last year. He didn't really factor in at all during the finals run, but he's just 21 and it's entering his 4th season, so they had him go out there and play a game and had him play a little point guard. McCarthy, he looked pretty good to the point that they just said, you know what, do some practice now, take the rest of Summer League off. We saw what we need out of you. So he's someone that's
interesting to me as far as is the beginning of the year when Porzingis is out and Al Horford's going to miss some games, and if any other injuries hit, like there's going to be a wild card guy that is going to see some minutes off the bench, and Springer for his defense could be that guy if they wanted to go with a smaller look there. Kate also played well. Two-way guys like Drew Peterson was like, Anton Watson, their second-round pick, I thought looked pretty good too. All these guys, McCarthy, are pretty much not going to matter once we get to October, but they did fine. No one got hurt, and it doesn't look like they look like there's enough talent at the end of the bench there to help the Celtics stay afloat if they have to go deep into their depth chart in November, December if Porzingis out.
There is the definitive landmark analysis of Summer League basketball from Brian Robb, and I paraphrase / quote.
I trust you're going to go over this tape. I mean, there's 5 games. There'll be time for you to catch up on this, McCarthy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll be breaking it down for sure. As you said, none of these guys are going to matter. They did fine. Nobody got hurt. So excellent there from Brian Robb, summing it up perfectly from a man who has spent many a summer night in Las Vegas breaking down Summer League basketball. I know you were devastated to not be there this year. I just hope for your sake, B-Rob, that you get back next year.
Yeah, just Summer League kind of hits different, I think, from a reporting and a team perspective after a title run, I think. And I think the Celtics, as an organization, handled it on that front as well.
Just the best in the business. Best in the business, Brian Robb, Mass Live 98.5 The Sports Hub, on Twitter at Brian T. Robb. Read his stuff. I mean, really, I'm not joking. The guy I read on the Celtics is B-Rob. Thanks for coming on, B-Rob. We'll talk soon, bud, all right?
All right, appreciate it, McCarthy.
All right,
Thanks a
sounds
lot.
good. Brian Robb is all of our guests joining us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Well, this isn't going well. We got the Red Sox in Colorado. I kind of shook off the Dodgers series. I kind of shook it off. A little Taylor Swift, just boom. Shake it off. Shake it off. Huh. I don't feel good. I might have dude. I might have believed a little too early. I might have taken the bait. I never take the bait on the Red Sox. What got into me over the last few weeks, Gaz? What got into me?
Hope.
Damn it. Hope. I hate hope. Hope sucks. Never hope again.
Was Tanner Houck broken at the All-Star game? 617-779.
Shohei Otani has murdered Tanner Houck and Cutter Crawford. 5 days. 2 dead bodies left in his wake. Ooh, baby. All right, we got to get into this. This is not going well tonight. Quick update, and then, yes, we need to talk Sox. Right back with you. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray. inspiring. Yeah, won't lie to you about that. 8 days in a row. It's been fun. I've had fun up until this very moment. But 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, when I looked up and it was 4-0. 4-0, Colorado. This bum-ass baseball team. Tanner Houck getting carved up tonight in Colorado. How'd this happen, Skaz? Did you see this? Break it down for the people. Why did the Red Sox suck specifically?
I saw him let up a 2-run bomb. I went to get my dinner, came back from the fridge, and it was 4-0. So, yeah, very quickly. Looked like he went to field a ground ball. Not the best throw to first. The runner was safe, and then the trainers came out to look at him. So, I don't know. He's still in the game.
Well, he pulled his ERA.
Yeah, certainly did that.
Yep, got a strained whip out there. 2 guys on again. Now, I will say, couple of factors here. Couple of factors for the Red Sox suck tonight. Couple of factors for Tanner Houck and his suck tonight. Coors Field is not a good spot if you throw a breaking ball. And Tanner Houck throws a breaking ball. Slider's his best pitch. We know this. We've talked about Trevor Story. Trevor Story can't hit breaking balls, which is why he's only ever been able to hit at Coors Field because, Gaz, let's do a little science lesson, all right? What happens at altitude to the baseball? If you try to spin the baseball, is the baseball going to spin more or less? Let's see. Let's do a science test for James Scaramuzzi.
You're asking the wrong guy here.
Okay.
Not a science guy.
At altitude.
It's easier to get drunk. I know that.
Oh, I'm very aware of that. Yes. Altitude sickness, no joke.
I've had, not fun with family that used to live in Leadville, which is as high up as you can go.
I have been to Leadville a number of times. That's a cool spot.
Way, way up there.
Way up. 10,000 something?
The 2 mile high town, I think it's called. Yes. Altitude sickness, no joke.
Yes.
No joke.
What also happens is the breaking ball doesn't break as much at altitude because the ball doesn't spin. There you go. Let that be a lesson for you, which is why Trevor Story has never been able to hit anywhere else because, folks, Trevor Story can't hit a breaking ball. Oh, but why was he so good at Coors Field? It's science. The ball doesn't break. The ball doesn't break at Coors Field, which Tanner Houck is finding out tonight. However, also, I saw this from Red Sox stats. A lot of analytics pointing to the fact that Tanner Houck's slider is not breaking as much as it once did. He's getting tired. The ball isn't spinning as much. Now you have a tired Tanner Houck coming off Shohei Otani's destruction of him in the All-Star game, and he's pitching at Coors Field where the ball doesn't break, and this is what you get. Tired Tanner Houck, can't handle the innings load, and you put him at Coors Field, and boom, there you go. Ball travels farther, ball does not break as much. Science.
Sounds like we need to get back on the spider tack train, maybe.
Get him on the tack. Tack him up. Let's go.
Red Sox are not cheating enough.
Yes, I would agree with that. Have the Red Sox been cheating up until this point? 617-779-0985. Another factor in tonight's game. The Red Sox are facing a left-handed pitcher. His name is Austin Gomber. Gomber? I believe it's Gomber. Austin Gomber. What is Austin Gomber doing this year? Austin Gomber is 2-6 with a 4.43 ERA, and yet he is carving up the Red Sox. Now, Austin Gomber, James Scaramuzzi, is a left-handed pitcher. Now, the ball may not break as much at Coors Field, but what type of pitching do the Red Sox not hit?
That would be left-handed.
And do you know why that is? This is baseball science.
Is it because of their lineup?
Because they have no good right-handed hitters. Yes.
I like this game.
Yeah. You got this figured out. So, some problems showing up for the Red Sox tonight. Problems, right? Here's the issue. If you do not improve this team by adding at the deadline significantly, you will not be able to maintain this overachievement. You will not be able to do that because Tanner Houck is starting to break down. Cutter Crawford might start to break down. Cutter Crawford may never emerge the same as a pitcher and a human being ever again after what Shohei Otani did to him last night. That was abusive. That should not be allowed. You shouldn't be able to do that to another man. That was as emasculating as it gets. Like, the look on Cutter Crawford's face, like when Otani makes contact with that ball, he doesn't even look at it. The horror, the sheer horror. This is not good. This is not good tonight. I shook off the Dodgers series. I did. Situationally bad. But I can explain it away, right? They should have won 2 of those games. You wouldn't have won last night. Otani destroyed and ruined the life of Cutter Crawford, never to be the same again. Mark tape. Skaz, mark tape. Cutter Crawford will never be the same again after the emotional abuse Shohei Otani put him through last night. The tape has been marked. June 22nd, July 22nd, 2024. Cutter Crawford will never be the same again after Shohei Otani abused him like that.
Does this give you cause for concern from the front office watching this? Like, are you one of those? I know we talked about it a little bit with Bill earlier, but they look at all this stuff. They look at the numbers. They look at Tanner Houck's never pitched this many innings. Cutter Crawford's never pitched this many innings. The Red Sox have the hardest schedule in the league in the second half.
Sweet Jesus, Yoshida. Oh, my God.
That's your guy. Under strikeouts.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch how he helplessly flails at that. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He looked like he was so far out of the batter's box by the end. He was by the time he was done swinging at that. Skaz, go to my Twitter handle at Matt McCarthy 98.5 and look at my screenshots of what Pedro Martinez did to the National League hitters that night. Masataka Yoshida just looked like he got done seeing 4 pitches from Pedro Martinez in 1999 with this bum, Austin, the Goomba on the mound. You have a Goomba pitching to you. He doesn't have arms.
It's never good when your jersey number is facing the pitcher after the at-bat.
Not a great sign. Not a great sign. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you about that, but I couldn't. Yoshida. Holy hell. Well, nice signing, Chaim. Nice signing. That guy. Everybody in baseball laughed when Chaim Bloom gave Yoshida $90 million. Screenshot that image. That's why.
It's amazing what a couple hours will do. Start of the show, McCarthy's still in, not too scarred from the Dodgers series, a little bit of hope. And now 4 innings in against the Rockies, hope is fleeting.
I got duped, man. I got duped.
You were catfished by the Red Sox.
The Red Sox catfished me. Yep, they catfished me. I have been duped. Hand up, Matt McCarthy. I apologize. Skaz, I apologize to you. I apologize to the people. I literally said this team. I said it. I've been saying it for weeks. I believe in this team. Even the Dodgers series, it didn't faze me. Situationally bad series. If you had Martin, if you had Slayton, you would have been fine in that series. Would have been totally fine. The Rockies? No, it's carrying forward now. It's carrying forward. You did ask me a question, though. You did say, is this going to scare off the front office and ownership? I hope, on the contrary, it makes them say, this team needs help. We should get them help. I really hope that's how they look at this. They say, this is not sustainable, but that's why we should add. The whole question, can we maintain this? Is it sustainable? No, of course you can't maintain this. Of course it's not sustainable. But I've been saying that for weeks. I've been saying I believe in this team, but it's not sustainable. I feel like we're getting into like a Joe Murray type of like, Joe, all right, what the hell are you saying here? You're saying 2 completely different things. I feel like we're kind of going around the Joe Murray cul-de-sac. Listen to me on this, all right? I believe in them, but it's not sustainable. Such a Joe Murray delivery on that. I believe that this team is worthy of an investment, but I also understand that they're not going to be able to keep this up. I know that Houck has his innings coming up. Crawford has his innings coming up. I see that. I understand. That's the reason to add. Because there are things to like with this team. There are things to like. And if you go out and improve at the deadline, then you can maintain. I said this earlier tonight. I will say it again. It's not about getting better at the deadline, which of course you'll do by adding a guy. But you're not doing that to say, our team is so much better. You're doing that to maintain the level that this team is playing at because it's not sustainable. Because of the innings limits, because of, is Jarren Duran going to play true all-star baseball throughout the year? I don't know. Is Rafael Devers going to be able to carry you all year long? Maybe, maybe not. Got some stats indicating that he's not. I wonder if he's hurt. There's a shoulder thing going on there that's affecting him. That's why you need to add right-handed protection. So Austin Goomba doesn't shove it up your ass the way he's shoving it up your ass right now. He has no arms. He's a Goomba. Jamie Westbrook just homered. That's a 3-run dong. You know why? Because that pitcher sucks. This is what I want to see. I've always believed. Add in this team. 617-779-0985. Never doubted. Never doubted a thing. I love the Red Sox. We continue. Murray's Musings are next.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to
wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Zone.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
Oh my God, what's that sound? No, it can't be. It can't be. James Garamazzino. Have the nipples come out?
They are on the World Wide Web. Tyler Milliken has posted the tweet. The sounder has gone off. The Red Sox have tripled. And Tyler Milliken's nipples are once again on your timeline.
They have graced the internet. Oh boy. I missed him. I've never heard this. It's great.
Apparently, this is the wrestler Val Venus's intro, and Joe insisted that this. I think it's a absolute perfect fit for the triple sounder.
No, it really is. So again, never doubted the Red Sox one bit. Never doubted them. Jamie Westbrook with a 2-out, 3-run homer. Then Jarren Duran tripled.
And just what we all predicted, a Jamie Westbrook home run.
Yes. Jamie Westbrook. Who? Huh?
No relation to Brian.
No relation to Russell. Name a Westbrook. 617-779-0985. No relation to Westbrook, Maine. Low ball, too. Congratulations, Joe, getting in the Hall of Fame. It's great. Good news for all of us. Hey, it's musings time. I see you on the phone lines. We'll get to you. 617-779-0985. I promise. Joe not in tonight. Was on the midday show. Did you catch any of this, Skaz? Joe on the midday show?
I caught some of it. What did I catch? Some Noah Khan talk, I believe, derailed the show.
Joe does not know who Noah Khan is.
No, yeah, you might be hearing some Joey Khan and Joey Murray's summer hits coming later this week, possibly next week.
I'm sure you will. He thinks Noah Khan is country. Noah Khan is not country. He's folk. There's a big difference. Big difference. Can you really be country if you're from Vermont? Like, it's a different type of country up there.
It's a
different type of
I would agree with that.
Right. I mean, they're all hill people. They're all hillbillies, but it's like a hippie hillbilly. When you talk about like New England hillbillies, of which we have many, there is a massive difference between a New Hampshire hillbilly and a Vermont hillbilly. Wouldn't we all agree with that? Vermont, hippie, New Hampshire, very much not. Very much not. You cross that Connecticut River, man, it's like things get weird. It should be the same thing. Shouldn't all hill people be the same? Like David from Burlington, who calls in on the midday show. Like, you wouldn't get David in Manchester. You wouldn't get David in Concord. That wouldn't exist. David in Burlington, perfect fit. Luke in Vermont, you think you're getting that? You think you're getting Luke in Vermont if you were in New Hampshire? That's a different scene altogether.
Fish is from Vermont, right?
They have to be.
That feels very Vermont.
Have to
I don't know
be.
if I just made that up, but I think fish.
Listen.
Vermont.
Whether or not you made it up, it's true. That's a Joe Murrayism. Well, whether or not it's actually true, it's definitely true.
50-50 yes.
50-50 yes. So Joe is on the midday show today, talking about what's an athlete, who's an athlete, and who's not an athlete. To which Joe says everybody is an athlete. That's the synopsis. Go to the podcast, 985thesportshub.com or on the app. Listen to Joe break down who's an athlete, who's not an athlete. Everybody's an athlete, except for sports talk radio hosts. Was basically the only people who weren't athletes in what I heard today of Joe, which got me thinking. You know, Skaz, one of the great accomplishments of my life, and I would say the greatest accomplishment of my athletic achievement would be getting the go-ahead double in the 2001 Carver Little League American League championship game off Jason Bourne. I still know it haunts you, Jason, if you're listening. All right?
And we know he is.
Jason Bourne is always listening. No, the kid's name was Jason Bourne. He's a great kid, Carver, Mass. I got a huge knock on him. He got up 0-2 on me. I was aggressive. Always took the first pitch, Skaz. I did. But the tying run was on third. And I went up there hacking. And I fell down 0-2. And what he really should have done, because I was going up there swinging, he really should have thrown me a pitch out of the zone. He put one in the zone, and I smoked it into the left center field gap. Great athletic achievement. Matt McCarthy, athlete, at the cost of Jason Bourne. He was on the Mets. I was on the Giants. We all remember that. Everybody, they still talk about it in this day, in Carver, to this day. They still talk about it. They're talking about building a statue for me, believe it or not. But no, my greatest accomplishment, and you tell me if this is athletic or not. Mental athlete, all right? I'm a mental athlete. Like Tristan Casas. I am a three-peat, Skaz, three-peat Carver Public Library Chess Club champion. Should I be proud of this? Yes or no?
What is the age group here?
I was probably 9, 10, 11 years old, like in that area, 12.
How old was the competition?
Oh, no, about the same age, yeah. No, it was a chess tournament. And I'm assuming it was broken down by age bracket. Three-peat. That's a level of greatness that you generally don't reach.
Bobby Fischer.
You know who never three-peated? Tom Brady. Tom Brady never three-peated. So we were talking, like, does that make me an athlete or not? I don't really care. I don't care if that makes me an athlete. You can say, McCarthy, mental athlete, to which I would say, yes, I am. But if you say you're not an athlete, I really don't care. I just want you to acknowledge my accomplishments, and I want you to tell me how great I am. So, Skaz, how great am I? Like, I cannot believe you have never come up to me like, did you win a chess championship once? I can't
Not
believe,
once.
Not twice.
Not twice.
3 times. So now, doesn't this redefine our relationship?
I honestly hold you to a higher standard now.
Right.
When you say some of these, verkakte things, as they would be called on maybe some other shows, maybe I need to look at them with a sterner eye. That this is coming from a chess champion.
Grandmaster, really. I would say, the greatest chess player in the history of Carver, Massachusetts. Now, it is Carver, Massachusetts. Can the majority of the population of Carver, Massachusetts read? The answer is no. Trust me, if you've ever been there. No, it is not. It's New Hampshire. It's Massachusetts, New Hampshire. Except it's just a bunch of bogs. It's flat. But yeah, no, I mean, it's not the most educated place around.
They got a big fair there.
Big fair. Yep. Bringing in Renaissance people.
That's what I know about Carver right there.
There's nothing else to know about it other than I am the greatest chess player to ever emerge from the town of Carver, Massachusetts.
It's a distinguished honor.
Oh, yes. No, I mean, again, the field was,
stacked.
Oh, please. Come on.
Bobby Fischer, Magnus Carlsen, Matt McCarthy.
And I didn't even need to use the anal beads to get, as you're familiar with that story.
Yes, there are some controversy in the chess world.
Big-time chess controversy. How do you signal somebody with electronic, or in the safe harbor, you just kind of shove it up there?
There was an It's Always Sunny episode where they dove into this. And not as successful.
I have not seen that episode, but I need to see that episode. I didn't need it. I didn't need him. 12-year-old Matt McCarthy. I was elite. Still am. I'll beat you on chess.com one day. I'll kick your ass, Skaz. This changes like our relationship? Like I've always considered you an equal, but now you are lesser than.
McCarthy, what if I told you that I was on the chess team in like 2nd and 3rd grade?
How'd you do?
I don't know if we ever had any meets, but I was there after school, mostly because I didn't have a ride home, but that's where I went. So I know how to play the game. I wouldn't say I'm any great shakes, but I'm aware of chess and how it works.
About controlling the center of the board, Skaz. Controlling the center of the board. Get those knights involved. We need to develop early.
they used to make us the chess pieces, and we would stand on a board that they taped as a chessboard, and we would play as in a very Harry Potter-esque.
Yeah, I was going to say this is some real Harry Potter
but
crap
yes,
out
we
there.
yes, we were the chess pieces.
Did it end in violence the way that it ended in underneath on the third floor there in Hogwarts or whatever?
Yeah,
once you get past Fluffy,
zero violence at the
unfortunate.
chess club.
When you think about it, chess theoretically very violent game. When you think about it, a lot of destruction, a lot of death, a lot of capturing, sacrificing. Nothing like a good sacrifice in chess. You get some queen pinned down. Oh, yeah. No, let's not go there. Now we're just getting weird. What do we got? We got birthdays, right? Hey, it's Prince George's 11th birthday. Thank you to Christina, by the way, for all of these. These are great. These are all way better than any of the birthdays I ever find. That's got to be like some type of holiday in the UK, right? You would think. Like you get the day off because it's Prince George's birthday. Bunch of weirdos. Selena Gomez is 32 today. George Santos, 36. He's an interesting cat, that one.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I'll leave it there.
Leave it there. George Santos calls at 617-779. No, you don't want to do that. Mike Sweeney is 51 today. The ultimate default all-star. I mean, Mike Sweeney was a fine player, right? He was a 4-time all-star. 5-time all-star. 5-time all-star. Mike Sweeney. Keyshawn Johnson is 52. Shawn Michaels, in honor of Joe Murray, is 59 today. David Spade is 60. Don Henley, 77 today. And today would have been the great Alex Trebek's 84th birthday. Now, you may be surprised, as the 3-time Carver Public Library chess champion, I am a big Jeopardy guy. You may be surprised by that.
No surprise.
I have a theory, all right?
Are you a Ken Jennings guy?
I am. I think Ken Jennings commands my respect as a Jeopardy Mayim, not good. Rough moments. You could tell those were heavily edited. Aaron Rodgers, not good. Did not command my respect as a Jeopardy fan. Ken Jennings has grown into the role. He's done nicely. Nobody will be Alex Trebek. But I have a theory, Skaz. If you're an 8 in real life, but you're on Jeopardy, you're a 10. That is, I just love that.
I might go lower than that.
You might go lower?
Like if you're a 7.
If you're a 7? If you're a 7 in real life, then you're a 10 on
maybe 6.
Oh yeah, no, what I'm saying is, and I have not fully worked out this theory, but you are automatically like, if you are just attractive if you're on Jeopardy. I am attracted to you if you're on Jeopardy. I think it's hot. I think brains are hot.
You got to be getting the questions right, though. I watched I don't know if you've dived into the Celebrity Jeopardy at all.
Tough moments,
and
yes.
I don't want to, I forget her name. I believe it may have been, her last name may have been a state in New England. But she's from a relatively popular TV show. And she had maybe the worst performance I've ever seen in Jeopardy history.
Why did I not see this?
Yes, it was Celebrity Jeopardy. It was this past season 2, episode 1, maybe, if you're looking for it out there. Yes, an all-timer for a bad. Maybe I'll go and find some of her answers and play those for you.
And listen, this fits into sports, right? Katie Nolan, I am so devastated she did not win Celebrity Jeopardy. That was a tough moment for me. Like in the McCarthy household, my girlfriend was eventually like, enough, I'm tired of hearing about this. I'm like, no, this is awesome. It's so cool. She's so smart. Look at this. And she's so funny. Yes. I mean, it was pretty cool that Chessie from The Parent Trap won. That's a good millennial moment. But like, I was team Katie Nolan the whole way. That's my girl right there. And I know her husband goes on Toucher and Hardy and all that. Next time I'm on Toucher and Hardy, I want to get Dan Soder on. Just be like, just to let you know, Dan, I love your wife. I just want to see what he says. If he threatens me,
I think he'd disagree with you.
He would disagree with me?
No, I think he'd just agree.
He would agree? Yes. Hell of a run from Katie Nolan on Celebrity Jeopardy. Big fan. Big fan. She crushed it. Aggressive with the daily doubles, too. Nothing, Skaz, there is nothing hotter than an aggressive daily double player in Jeopardy. Nothing hotter. Such a fan. All right, well, that took a weird turn. 617-779-0985. It's the musings. What do you expect? Phone calls. We'll do them next.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, relatable, reliable, and even relentless at times.
We're doing it live.
This is Boston's home for sports. WBC-FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox battling back. They're tied with the Rockies 4-4, sixth inning right now over in Colorado, top of the sixth. Jamie Westbrook, a 3-run homer. Sox were trailing 4-0 in this game. Jarren Duran hit a triple with 2 outs. Rob Refsnyder knocked him in. Xander Schauffele, your winner yesterday at the Open at Royal Troon, took home the Claret Jug. Final round 65 for him. Team USA and basketball beat Germany 92-88 in an Olympics tune-up today. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Matt McCarthy, your next update at 10:30.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Scoring the
You
foul.
listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
All right, McCarthy in for Joe Murray. 617-779-0985. Number of you waiting patiently. Let's take care of you. Mike in Minnesota. Mike, what's up? How you doing?
How are you? How you doing?
How you doing?
All right. Quick thought. First of all, hope floats. It's not like the movie, dude. The Red Sox season, it's a freaking wash. Let it go.
You're telling me you're telling me as a baseball guy to let it go.
The rest of the season? Hell yeah. Hope is sinking. Because we can do that, because we're from Boston. Because as soon as I left the East Coast, New Hampshire, I came out here. It's so true. I heard all you guys, first time, long time, about how the rest of the country hates Boston teams. Yeah, they do. But we can do that, let go and make a sigh and let go of the rest of the season because they're the Red Sox, because of the Patriots and the Red Celtics.
Wait a minute, because of the Patriots? You're saying I should stop watching
No, we can do that because they're Boston teams. We can do that because of the Red Sox. We can let go of the whole season because other teams, well, they pretty much suck all year, every year. We can let go of a season because it's the Red Sox or the Patriots or the Celtics because they're always going to bounce back. But
okay. Were you following that, Skaz? Is it just me? Am I missing something?
I abandoned that call early. You know, I'm a keen ear for swear words, but other than that, I was out on
Checked
that
out. Yeah. Justin and Lynn. Hi, Justin.
So, man, I was very frustrated so far on how the Red Sox started the game, but they somehow got it back and got it tied up again. And now I'm happy again.
Me too. I'm happy again. I love nighttime calls. They're the best. They're so good.
You know, the worst part is they've been okay tonight.
Solid.
Yes.
I would say strong to quite strong. Does everybody from Lynn sound the same? There's a question for you. I don't know, like, you know, speakerphone or like mouth away from the phone, kind of yelling into it. I mean, it is kind of inspired by the great Tommy from Lynn. By the way, I had the honor of being on the Tommy Knows Best podcast recently. That was a delight. That was fun. Skaz, have you had the pleasure of going on the Tommy Knows Best podcast?
I have not. I've spoken to Tommy. I believe it's probably in my future at some point. I have not done it yet.
It's a great take, man. That's a fun take. That's a fun take. We love Tommy and Lynn. Tommy and Lynn's our guy. He's always got stuff to say today. Tommy, love you, mean it, really. I feel like everybody else is kind of doing the Tommy. Phone a little bit away. What I got to say today, guys. Hey, love the Red Sox. Yes, inspired by the great. Sports Hub Hall of Fame callers. Tommy's got to be in there, right? I feel like he's got to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tommy. Tom from Quincy with the Mona Lisa of Boston accents has to be on there. Mike from Woburn, always good for a good joke here or there. Good Bruins take for you. Sports Hub Hall of Fame callers.
JP and NP's got to be on there.
Dude, no doubt. JPNP. What else we got? Trying to think. It'll come to me. Tanner Houck's still in this game, huh? Who would have thunk it? 617-779-0985. We continue. It's McCarthy in for Joe Murray.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. Sports Hub.
If you're an 8 in real life, but you're on Jeopardy, you're instantly a 10. Sky has even said if you're a 6 in real life, you're instantly a 10 if you're on Jeopardy, which I would agree with, by the way.
If you're answering correctly.
Well, right. I mean, you have to represent yourself. I'm not saying you have to get everything right. Nobody's perfect. But yeah, I mean, you can't finish in the negative. I will yell at people when they're in the negative. Like, you can't do this. How'd you get on the show? Everybody's going to have one of those. You buzz in, you're like, my mind's not working. The bright lights, I got Ken over there. I got, this guy's won 17 games to my right. I get that. I understand that. But you can't. Some person the other night, they were down like $3,000. I'm like, stop.
Did the play in Celebrity Jeopardy, and she's talked about it since, so I don't. She's a celebrity. I don't feel bad about throwing her under the bus. But yes, I've gathered some sound. I'll have to set it up a little bit. The first question you can't really hear here from Ken, so it is. I'll lay it out for you, Matt, and I think this is. And I don't want to oversell it, but I think this is as easy as a possible question there has ever been in the history of Jeopardy.
Okay.
Ants inhabit every continent except this one, whose first syllable, ironically, is ant.
How about what is Antarctica?
Yes, you would think, wow, Celebrity Jeopardy, I know they take it easy on them, but that is really easy. Well, here you go.
Is ant. Emily.
Oh, boy, Antinopolis.
Sound well done.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm going by the McCarthy theory, so if you're an 8, what are you now?
If you say Antinopolis,
5, 4, 0, 0.
Her next blunder, I don't even believe it involves a question. I believe it involves her just asking for a question.
Oh, okay.
I finally understand this cat.
Take that.
Airport stores for 12,000.
1,200. Here we go.
Uh-oh. Now, I'm not a math guy, Skaz. I earlier tonight, I said, what's 68 divided by 4? Had no idea. Had to bring out my phone to do it. Everybody's on YouTube yelling at me. McCarthy, it's 17, you dumbass. Yes, I'm not a math guy. 2 zeros? Yeah, no, not 12,000. Not 12,000. We've all had missteps, right? I mean, listen, I say stupid stuff all the time. It's possibly 12,000. I'm tired, whatever it is. Is there more? Please tell me there's not more.
Unfortunately, there is more. So for this next one, again, the question is a little cut off, but the question is, for a flavorful chicken marsala, chefs recommend using real marsala, a fortified wine made on this Italian island. So some people may not know this one. So, I don't even know if you could guess or answer, but here we go.
Made on this Italian island? I'm going to say Sicily.
Take that.
Airport stores for 12,000.
1,200. Here we go. 1,200. Just give her 12,000. Let's do it. Chefs recommend using real marsala, a fortified wine made on this Italian island. Emily.
Why did I do that? What is marsala?
No, I'm sorry.
Did I do?
No. Okay, that one's a little...
A panic.
A panic moment. A little bit more understandable. Like, you're right. Chicken marsala. You'd be like, is it named after something? I'm going to assume it's Sicily, but I'm not going to... I mean, I could be wrong about that, right? You should know that.
Yeah, I should, but...
Scaramuzzino?
Not knowing that one.
Where does marsala come from? Hold on. Let's go to the Google ski. Where does marsala come from? Let's see. Italian island of Sicily. Easy enough, but you could guess wrong. Italy has other islands, right? Crete? Is Crete an Italian island or a Greek island? Greece. See, I'm going back to my ancient world stuff there. Crete, Greek, Sicily, Italy. Does Italy have any other islands? Oh, Corsica, right? Isn't that Italian? Yeah. Italy does have islands. Nailed it. What else do we have?
All right, McCarthy. This one, yeah, okay. The question. In his first ever TV interview, Cormac McCarthy sat down. Another McCarthy.
Yeah, great McCarthy. By the way, Corsica is an island in France. Wrong again, McCarthy.
So Cormac McCarthy, first ever TV interview, sat down with Oprah Winfrey after she selected this bleak novel for her book club.
No Country for Old Men.
This bleak novel for her book club. Emily.
What is Bleak House?
Sorry, no.
No. Bleak House. Bleak House?
I think she's just repeating things that are in the question.
Yes, no, that's not. Listen, Jeopardy, creative writing, right? It's not. No. Is Bleak House even a novel? It is, by Charles Dickens. How about that? Literature, not my strongest category on Jeopardy.
All right, here we go. The Atlantic described this 4-letter meditation app as one of the most popular apps in existence, full stop. I believe this is the Calm app.
Must be.
If I had to guess.
Yes.
Well, let's hear what Emily had to say.
Describe this 4-letter meditation app as one of the most popular apps in existence, full stop. Emily.
Oh, wow. What is Headspace? But it's not. It's four letters.
It's not Headspace, I'm afraid.
I mean, at this point, really just stop buzzing in. That's fine. Some of these, bad moment, whatever, but it's obvious you don't know anything. Did she get any points in this?
From the clip I have up right now, she is minus $2,000.
Oh, okay. All right. It's Celebrity Jeopardy, too. They dumb it down for Celebrity Jeopardy. I mean, not until you get to the finals.
All right, Matt, here we go. Final question.
Yes, please.
Alaska has more of these birds than any other U.S. state, and that's not even counting the ones on the backs of quarters. I would say pretty straightforward. Everybody knows the
bald eagles.
Is an eagle on the back of the quarter?
Yep. Please, she's going to say penguins.
Well, here we go.
Marker red card birds than any other U.S. state, and that's not even counting the ones on the backs of quarters. Emily.
What are owls?
Oh, sorry, no.
Yeah, it's not great. Owl's not great. I like me a good owl. Don't get me wrong. Owls are great. Should owls be? I would like it. Honestly, we can replace the bald eagle with the owl. An owl is a great bird. Big fan of owls.
As someone who it doesn't mind an awkward moment or two, finds joy in them even at times, this was even a little bit too much for me on my couch. Just like cringing at just it was painful. It was legitimately painful to watch.
Shouldn't, like, for Celebrity Jeopardy, you should have to pass a test, right?
Apparently not.
I guess not. Wow. That's a tough moment there for Emily Hampshire.
I don't know if she'll be back.
Really? No, I don't think she'll get the invite. Katie Nolan, though. Invite her back. Chessie from The Parent Trap. And then Mo Rocca from Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. I mean, that's... You got a good one, right? That was a powerhouse trio for the Celebrity Jeopardy finals.
I did see. I think I saw Katie Nolan episode where she was with the guy from Law and Order. Maybe that was one of her earlier episodes.
Yes. Which guy from? Oh, it was SVU,
the bald guy.
Right?
Yeah. Christopher Maloney.
Yeah. Lou Merloni's cousin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I did see that one. Then she beat him, late in that game. I think it was a dramatic finish. It's always. I mean, when you're Statler.
That sounds right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna beat that guy. No. But that Celebrity Jeopardy final. That's a powerhouse group right there. Good for Chessie.
If you're getting Antarctica wrong, maybe just hold the buzzer.
Antarctica was the worst. Yeah. No, at that point, it's like all of a sudden, really, that's where the producer should step in. Like, my buzzer isn't working. Geez, well, get that looked into.
They're playing for charity too, and she's just in the negative. It's like, come on.
What charity are you representing? Wow. 617-779-0985. You want to talk about a tragedy? We had a tragedy on the roadways of America today. I don't know how we go forward, Skaz. We as a society, I don't know how we recover from this. We'll do it next.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox and the Rockies knotted rolls on its side in a crash in a Chicago area expressway. They took out the Wienermobile, man. Somebody took out the Wienermobile. From CBS Chicago. An Oscar Mayer Wienermobile flipped on its side on Monday in a crash on the Tri-State Tollway. Indiana State Police said the Wienermobile was headed north on Interstate 294 near Roosevelt Road around 11 in the morning when it collided with a Hyundai that was also headed north. The driver of the Wienermobile lost control of the Wiener, and the vehicle ended up rolling on its side. The Wienermobile was seen on a flatbed tow truck after the crash. We lost a good one today. No one was injured in the crash. But the northbound lane of I-295 was shut down for more than an hour. Because we had a giant wiener on its side.
Imagine you're stuck in that traffic, and then you see that hot dog turn. I'd lose my mind if I was stuck in that traffic because of the Wienermobile.
This is why Jim Murray couldn't get home. The Wienermobile shut it all down. You know there are 6 different Wienermobiles?
That's too many.
Way too many.
It loses its luster, you know?
I thought there was only one. One giant wiener going down the highway.
There's more Wienermobiles than like operational blimps in the country is what we're finding out.
Right. I mean, it's just the Goodyear blimp, right? How many of those they got?
We found, I think there's like 3 of them that actually work or something like that.
There's only 3 Goodyear blimps?
We looked it up. I can't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but there's like less than like 12 operational blimps in the whole world.
That's insane. One would think there would be more blimps.
Very expensive to operate. Price of helium.
Yeah, I mean, you would think like, and in the grand scheme of things, is a blimp at this point, Skaz, like who cares about a blimp? Isn't a blimp kind of 1980s? I mean, you had like the Hindenburg, right? That was a Zeppelin. What's the difference between a Zeppelin and a blimp? Does anybody know? 617-779-0985. What's the difference between a Zeppelin and a blimp? Let me look that up. I need to know. Inquiring minds need to know. What's the difference between a Zeppelin and a blimp? Here we go. What do we say? Zeppelins and blimps are both different types of airships. Yes, thank you, AI overview on Google. That's not what I wanted to know. Both are self-propelled with lighter-than-air gas and steered by pilots. Zeppelins are rigid airships that use an internal framework to maintain their ship. Blimps are non-rigid airships that rely on internal pressure to maintain their shape, just like a balloon. So Zeppelins are a little bit more built out.
As of 2018, there were fewer than 10 active blimps in the world. So I would imagine that's even less now.
I don't believe that one bit. Like, don't you see enough blimps over sporting events to be like, there are only 10?
We're the only ones using them. That's it. Hey, you want to go see a college football game? Get in the blimp.
Would you ever want to go in a blimp?
We had a guy, we had a guy call in. Oh, I think Silver might have been. We had a guy call in. He was in the Goodyear blimp at the 99 All-Star game.
Could you see anything? I feel like those things go really high.
Yeah, I'm out on that. As someone who's not a big fan of travel, and especially air travel, I am out on the blimp.
I feel like there are a lot of things that can go wrong. Although, I mean, how many, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, how many tragic blimp accidents have there been? I mean, as we all know, Leslie Nielsen lost his girlfriend in a tragic blimp accident over the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day. We do know that. But that's the only one that comes to mind. I mean, there's the Hindenburg, but that was in the 1930s. That was like 20 years after they figured out how to build airplanes. And they're like, I'm going to hop in a Zeppelin. I'm good.
I'm being told from our YouTube chat that the Hindenburg used hydrogen instead of helium, which is why it exploded. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
I
but
believe it.
I believe it.
It blew up.
Coming from Einbein, reliable source in the YouTube chat.
Einbein, always reliable. Rest in peace to the Wienermobile. I agree. Rest in peace. You're right. That would be the most infuriating thing of all time. I've been sitting in this traffic for 2 hours because of your wiener. Oscar Mayer?
Out.
Out. Out on Oscar Mayer's wiener. Out. In on the Wienermobile. I mean, who isn't?
Who
among us?
What's better, the Planters Peanut Mobile or the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile?
No, it's the Wienermobile. It's the Wienermobile. How about the LL Bean Boot Mobile? Have you seen the Boot Mobile?
I have not. I've seen the giant boot outside of LL Bean. I have not seen the mobile boot.
Yeah, they have the Boot Mobile. The Boot Mobile is great.
I have seen the Dunkin' Cup that drives around every once in a while for advertising.
Would you want to drive a weird thing?
No,
that?
Absolutely not.
I think I would, just for the hell of it.
I don't like people looking at me, and everyone's going to be looking.
Hey, look, Skaz is driving the wiener. Wouldn't you want that?
Like, I had a buddy in high school who drove like a decommissioned cop car, and it's like you can't go anywhere because everyone knows, that's his car.
Oh, no, not the cop car. I don't want to drive the cop car. What is this, the Blues Brothers?
Yes,
the day
exactly.
I get out of prison, my own brother picks me up in a police car. Now, this thing has cop everything. Cop motor, cop whatever. Where's the Cadillac, the Caddy? Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
You know McCone refuses to see it?
Why is that? Of all the trash things McCone likes, he can't watch the Blues Brothers?
Yeah, no, pretty much. And we played a clip for him once, and he's like, oh, that was supposed to be funny? And I'm like, you are the biggest a-hole on the face of the planet.
He's too busy listening to Kenny Chesney and Luke Combs.
I think that's honestly where it started. He was doing Kenny Chesney and Luke Combs and his Luke Bryan and all that. And I'm like, hey, are you listening to both kinds, country and Western? And then we played, the scene from Bob's Country Bunker, and everybody on the show is laughing. And Tim's
Rawhide.
Yeah, Rawhide. Excuse me, ma'am. What kind of music do you play? Oh, we have both kinds, country and Western. Chicken wire out there. Bob's Country Bunker. You're the good old boys. Straight from Nashville. Now that's country music. The good old boys. For every 31-year-old girl from Waltham who thinks she's from the country, I present to you the good old boys. That's your type of country music. And there'll be All-Star Game this past week. They used Rhinestone Cowboy as the intro. I'm like, we are really appealing to a younger audience right here. Really appealing to them. But, to every 26-year-old gal with cowboy boots from Braintree, that's your music now. You've accepted this. Rhinestone Cowboy, that's you. 617-779-0985. I see you on the phone line. We'll take care of you. We'll do it next.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
At Rockland Trust, we know listening matters. Whether you're building a family or a business, investing in a new home or a college education, you need a banker who cares.
Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Dig.
At McCarthy in for Joe Murray. It's got a text from my dad.
Watch out.
Typical dad text. This is a dad text. I said, hey, Skaz, I just got a text from my dad. He said, let me guess. He texted you about the Red Sox. And for what reason was this your guess, Skaz?
Because if I get a text from my father and it's past 10 p.m. during the week, it's because he's watching a sporting event.
My dad has an analysis on the Red Sox. He said, I'm watching the Red Sox for the first time in a couple of years. Are they incredibly short? I've been thinking about this text for the last 7 minutes. Are they unusually short? Are they a short baseball team?
I would lean yes off the top of my head.
I would too.
Not something I would think about, but yeah, I think they are.
I don't think they have many tall guys. I think they're short. This is a short team. Do the Red Sox hate tall people? 617-779-0985. Can't imagine, by the way, that I'm a popular guy over there on Jersey Street. Maybe it has nothing to do, Skaz, with the fact that I've beaten the hell out of them for the last 5 years. No, maybe it's because I'm tall. Maybe they hate tall people. This Cam Boozer's kind of tall, right? He's pitching. He's kind of a tall guy. But you're right. Most of their lineup, short. Not a lot of big guys in that lineup. Casas is hurt. I mean, Devers isn't like the tallest guy. Very interesting. Are the Red Sox too short? Is that why they're not going to add to this team at the deadline? Who's to say? By the way, though, just real quick update on the Red Sox game. It's 5-5 after Connor Wong hit a game-tying home run off of Jalen Beeks, who was traded for Nate Eovaldi. Jalen Beeks with his 4.74 ERA this year, pitching in Colorado, where pitchers go to die, with a career 4.43 ERA. 22-15 in his career. Oh, no, you can't give up prospects. Sure. Got it. Understood. Red Sox and Dave Dombrowski won that trade. And I'm sure Jalen Beeks' ERA is just going to stay in the mid-fours, pitching in Colorado. I'm sure he'll be just fine. JP in North Providence. JP.
God, I've been singing the Oscar Mayer jingle for the last 14 minutes. I'll be doing that all night, going back between Bologna and Wiener. Listen, skip one night. What vehicle's the best? Don't forget the Red Bull Mini Cooper, and you got the Napa hat.
Yep.
But the important thing, McCarthy, pressing question. When you were chess champion, did you lead with white or was black your color?
Ooh.
Did they have a celebration in town when you three-peated? And when you went to high school like all of us, did you build a chessboard in shop class?
I didn't. I have not built anything ever, period. End of story. Not particularly handy over here. It's embarrassing. Closest thing I've done to anything handy ever is bought Home Depot stock. That's the only thing I've ever done that even comes anywhere near it. You know why? Because I know there are people out there. I kid you not, my attitude. There are people out there who can do this, and I'm not one of them. Bye. You know why? Because I'm going to have to pay for somebody to go to Home Depot to buy the thing that I'm going to need to put in the house. Bye. No, I should have gotten a parade. And maybe I can go back to my hometown like a day with the Cup, a day with the Marconi. I can go do a parade through the streets of Carver or Winchester, whichever one of my hometowns will take me. By the way, the two most polar opposite towns in Massachusetts, Winchester and Carver. That was a culture shock going down to Carver. Like, what do you mean the train doesn't run down here? Also, what do you mean that people can't read? Huh? Oh, wait, but none of you people are terrible? Oh, that's good. Yeah. Huh. What an interesting dynamic. You're terrible in different ways. I want my day with the Marconi. A ticker tape parade for me, waving the Marconi through the streets of Carver or the streets of Winchester, whichever one of my hometowns will take me back. Going past D'Agostino's, waving the Marconi. Going around the Rotary by Winchester Drug. I won! This is my grand trophy. It's because of you people. I'll never...